SportsHub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Red Sox went for a sweep last night over at Fenway, but they won the first game 5-3 that was suspended, and then, lost 8-4 in the nightcap, blew a 3-run lead. Sox off tomorrow. They'll travel to Washington for an 11 a.m. first pitch on July 4th. The All-Star Game starters were announced. The Red Sox, let's see here. Nope. No starters for the Red Sox, but Clayton Kershaw, you know him? He's pretty good. He became the 20th pitcher in Major League Baseball history with 3,000 strikeouts. Celtics, one of the teams showing interest in free agent Damian Lillard. And DeAndre Ayton has signed with the Lakers. What does that mean for Al Horford? Headlines, they are brought to you by Kesha's Law. Kesha's Law, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does it sound like you? Visit KeshasLaw.com. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update is in 30 minutes.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the SportsHub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher.
When has that been necessary to fact check?
And Hardy.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
On 98.5.
Hello. Hey there.
Sarge GPT booting up.
Let me hear you say, boo, boo, boo.
Crush me, mommy. Say my name.
I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the Pope. I'm a goddamn dragon.
Yeah, good luck, dude.
Nothing like a good tushy.
Uh-huh.
I love you. And I think you know that. Excuse me?
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back some fat and having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Smelly. Good morning. Good morning. The Toucher and Hardy program. It's a getaway day, but you know what? We're not mailing this one in today. We are not mailing this one in today. I'm Joe Murray, joined, hailing from Connecticut. You can hear him on 98.5 The Sports Hub, his own podcast. His podcast with Doug Kyde, and you can read him in the newspaper, also digitally with a subscription, which I have. The Boston Herald, he is Andrew Callahan. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Joe. I feel like I should be walking through a tunnel of extended hands, going to the high five, side bumping you at the
Pyro.
end. Yeah, ripping off my pants at the end. We got some basketball shorts underneath. One correction, though, for you.
Oh.
Pod is not with Doug Kyde. Doug Kyde has his own Pat's Chat podcast with Michael Hurley.
Jeez.
So
I thought you and Zach Cox and all you guys were like a
we hang out.
three-legged.
They'll be on. Three-legged monster over there.
Yeah, Doug does one with Mike Hurley. You do
good.
one with
Pat's Interference. It's me and a rotating cast of characters.
me.
Yeah. Me, myself, and I.
Well, now I feel like I buried the lead. I felt like I was Michael Buffer, and instead I became Bruce Buffer. Actually, who's better? Because let's get ready to the Rumble's probably like.
Let's get ready to rumble.
That's probably trademarked, right? But I don't know.
It absolutely is, Joe. In fact, the band System of a Down were sued. They were given a cease and desist, rather, by Michael Buffer because they had a big intro they would play before their live shows, and it involved that. And Michael Buffer, you are not allowed to use that phrase or a recording of him saying it if he's not getting paid.
So Bruce Buffer is the answer.
Bruce Buffer, it's time! I'm sorry for doing that at 6:04 in the morning. That's why Adam 12 is here, everybody. He has that useless information that's not useless.
So much of it, it's just pouring right out of my mouth.
So, Andrew Callahan, people who listen to this time slot know who you are. I like your 2 stats, 1 lie.
Thanks. We got 2 editions again.
Yeah, one of the we did a pre-production meeting, if you could believe that. We had one. And I was like, I don't know much about Andrew Callahan. So I was like, why don't we do 2 stats, 1 lie about Andrew Callahan? Well, really, Adam 12 said that. I just went along with it.
Well, we did a Fred edition.
Yeah.
I've done one about the show. We've done facts about how often the Jets win playoff games relative to how many times people have been on Mars. or spaceships have been on Mars, I should say. Spoiler, they're the same number since Fred was born, as I remember. So, yeah, we're ready with anything here today, but I appreciate that. It's wild that you and I, because I got here in 2018, coming up on my 7-8 year anniversary of covering the Patriots, have never been really in the same room.
That's true.
Because I've been on the show.
That's right.
We haven't hung out.
I have never met you. I even go to Patriot. So I do a yearly Joe Murray goes to Patriots camp. And I'm telling you, I can go one day and tell you if the team's going to be good or not, who the quarterback is. I'll tell you who's suspect. Like, I'll have a whole
out
list.
This year. That would save me a lot of time.
So I'm going. I forget what day it is, but I'll be there in August. It will be a Sunday. I'll be looking live, overlooking the practice field over Gillette Stadium. And normally I'll just give me like an hour, and I'll be like, that guy stinks. Who's that guy? Wait, who's that over there? Yeah. Oh, yeah. One thing I'll pat myself on the back for. I got an eye for it. Should have been a scout.
So you weren't at the practice last summer that Michael Holley came to in what was his first in probably 10 years.
So it's so funny, but I was at the Sunday before because I walked. I was with Felger, and I go, I'm betting the Patriots to be the worst team in the league this year. And the caveat was they had to get the number 1 overall pick. So I think I got it at like plus 380.
Oh, I see.
But it was all going smooth week 17, baby. I was riding the take. Worst team. Oh, this is great. Number 1 pick. I'm like ready to cash my checks, baby.
So I should have gotten you a Joe Milton jersey too, just like
yes,
Fred.
That's right. You have the Joe Milton jersey. That's right.
So that practice that Holly went to, because I did TV maybe a night or two later, and Drake May was a complete mess. And he was slow out of the gate, which no one wanted to hear. But if anyone who was crazy enough to go to practices, and I did this before I had the job, would sit and watch and go, yeah, there's nothing spectacular here. But he took off after that. So had you gone to that day like Holly did, you would have thought this kid sucks. They blew another pick. He called him Mac Jones. And it wasn't just because he was wearing the number 10 jersey.
I remember that day.
Yeah.
It went viral because, obviously there's a lot at stake here with Drake May, which we'll do. I know there's rankings and floors and ceilings and a lot going on with that. I will tell you this. The practice I went to, Joe Milton could not complete a short pass.
And would you believe there was a period of time in which there was a storyline going around that Joe Milton was better than Drake May at Patriots training camp?
Could you believe that?
The dangers of judging off of one day, unless your name is Joe Murray.
That's right.
Take a breath.
Yeah. And the reason why I bring this up is I watched, it was Bailey Zappi. I still get Zappy. I still get Zappy stuff.
No.
No,
You're still sick? You got the fever?
No. There was no fever. I watched Mac Jones and I watched Bailey Zappi, and I said, "What's the difference here?" Like, and I get it. Like, Mac Jones is highly recruited, played at Alabama, won a national championship. He's got stripes. He's got his stripes. But at practice that day, I go, what's the difference here? Like, I think there's a competition. And there's a famous quote from somebody in the media who says, I'll let you know when there's a competition. But I was there that day, and I said, it was definitely very smelly. But I just didn't think there was a big gap between the two of them. Was Mac better? Probably.
Yes.
But the gap is where I'm talking. The gap was not very far.
Which, speaking of fevers, watching those two was like, do I feel like I'm 102 or do I have a 103 temp when I pull the thermometer out of my mouth? Because I'm miserable watching either of them. So, like, we could compare and contrast the 30th versus the 34th best quarterback in the league. What'd you think of the offense, by the way, that you watched that day? That would have been 22, I think.
Yes, it was 22. This would have been, was it Matt Patricia?
Patricia year, baby.
I was there a day where I believe it might have been Kendrick Bourne. They were trying to tell him how to run the Shanahan offense. He wasn't having it. Of course, right? Listen, this is...
well, there were a lot of guys in that offense who had, I think, went 7 or 8, because Karen and I did the big story after of like, okay, what the hell happened here? Because no one knew exactly why. They tried to copy and paste the Rams offense, Sean McVay. Thought they could do that just watching the tape, not go to clinics, not hire guys away from that staff. We'll look at it, we'll install it, we'll push it all together. Rams plays all over the whiteboard, videos that the players would watch, and the guys who had been in that system. And I don't know if Kendrick was one of them, but it was just like, nah, this ain't it. Like, what if they do something other than what the defense showed on film, because we're probably, in all likelihood, going to see something different when we run this. Oh, we'll get to it when we get to it. Just a wild time.
See, we couldn't talk about what we were seeing. You know, you can be there and be like, you know, I can't be like, oh, wow, nice little screen pass there, you know. But, yeah, Bourne was visibly, I don't want to say arguing with the coaching staff, but.
It didn't help. He was out of shape. I remember that summer. Also, I'll say this. The key to sharing the little tidbits is you got to write 3,000 words, Joe. And then you bury it somewhere in the middle so that the PR staff, which comes through every little line of our recaps and our notes, goes, F this, I give up. And still, sometimes you get spanked. Sometimes you get a text, you get an angry phone call. You're like, okay. Yeah. But there's ways to get it out.
I'm
there.
used to that now.
Yeah?
Like, if someone's very funny. I was out and about last night, which I'll share later. But people are like, oh, you must get paid to, like, do that. I go, what? Like, we don't get paid for takes. We get paid to be here. Like, we get paid to be here.
Okay, yeah.
I don't get paid. See, I don't know. Again, you work on the newspaper and print, so I'm sure that clicks are a big thing. It matters. Hey, this article did okay. That one didn't. All I'm saying is I don't get paid for that. That like, where did this myth come from? Like, where did the myth? Oh, you're just doing that for clicks. What clicks? Like, what? So this happened to me last night. Oh, I made a take about the 75 Red Sox being losers.
This is bad, by the way.
Do you think it's a bad take?
Save it.
But you think it's a bad take?
Yeah.
You know what's great about that?
We're doing a show for 4 hours together. Yeah.
No, but do you know what's great?
What?
You disagree.
Yeah.
My job's done. It's great.
So it's a game of gotcha?
No, it's not a game of gotcha.
Okay.
If we can get your side and my side, that's a show.
There we go.
You're not doing it because you just disagree. You'd want to be the different voice or the contrarian.
Well, and to the point about Miss, I'll say this, not in defense of newspapers, because there are some people in the media who absolutely operate the way you just described. Let me throw something out there, banking on the attention, and I'll survive the storm that comes with it. We're a subscription-based operation over there at the Herald, and
I am a subscriber.
Thank you very much,
I pay
sir.
$14.99 because it automatically comes out of my account every month.
Like, I don't think you can find many. I get the attention economy on social media, right? That's what it's all about. The algorithm tells you, incentivizes you to do the wildest, wackiest bleep possible, including saying stuff on the radio, writing in the newspaper. But the people who pay me, which are not employed by X or Instagram or wherever, care more about long-term subscription, long-term money. That's where that's coming in. So that's interesting, though. But so someone just walked up to you and said, you got paid to say that.
Yes.
Wow. What'd you say to them?
I said, do you think, as I'm sitting in the Legend Suite, do you think I get paid for that? Like, I get paid a salary to do a job.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Same.
Because I used to work real jobs. Well, what I say by real is like, like phone calls and sales and, closing deals and listening to Payne and doing the Sandler training and the sales force. Forget about all that. I'd rather do this. This is better. Trust me. So I want the smoke. I've been saying this. If you don't like my take, I'm not offended. I'm not going to fight you. I don't care. This is why we do this, right? If you write an article and you get blowback for it, are you like, oh my article?
Oh, my God.
No, I'm like, this is great. People love it and hate it. I don't do it to get both sides of it. I really feel as though the 1975 Red Sox, who went to the World Series and lost, are losers. I really feel that way. I don't get paid for it.
Well, you omit the jackass bonus you get. I mean, fellas get the biggest jackass bonus at the station.
Listen, if there was a jackass bonus, I want to throw my hat in the ring. No, for real. Adam 12, if there was a jackass bonus,
you and I'd be splitting it.
Let's go. You know what?
That's right.
I'd set it up so we'd be the final two. Oh, that'd be great. But yeah, it's another myth about radio, like T-shirts. Like we have a great company that supports us with our marketing team and all that stuff. But like back in the day when someone's like, "Hey, you got like a show T-shirt?" Where would you get one of those, Adam 12? I remember those BCN shirts back in the day.
Yep, they were at a premium by the time that station wrapped up. I'll tell you. You can. It's funny. You can find a lot of old radio station stuff on eBay. Like if you went on eBay and searched WBCN, you'd be surprised how many old T-shirts, old bumper stickers, and things like that are on there.
Well, I will admit this. So since you work in print, I know you do tell. I left out NBC Sports Boston, which I love. I love your appearances there.
Thank you, man.
Are there myths to, or how about this? People love radio drama.
Yeah.
Like Radio Goo, Radio Gaga. Holy smokes, do people love drama, huh? Like in this business, where did that come from? So that's probably not a myth. I'll say at least that. But like, where did that come from, bro? Hey, you don't get along. What? Who said that? Like,
And who cares? Like,
you're right.
It's the wrong thing to broadcast to an audience of what did Nick say in the YouTube the other day? 600, 700, 1,000 is what I mean. 600,
Right.
700,000.
Sure.
That like the people who take such interest in the radio drama, what you see and what you hear is what you get. Like everyone I've met, you, Felger, Holly, Fred, whomever, it's just 10% more of your personality is a little bit louder. So this is not entirely for sure. There's an element of that. But when I say this thing that I shouldn't say to, again, an audience, 600, 700 million now, are we at? I'm not that interesting. Like the people in the media are seeing what you get. And if you want to invent all these different like little things, I don't know, man. Maybe it's harder because likes are hidden on X. But my interesting part is being closer to the thing you love most than you are. The sports and the coaches and the players. And it's the content you write and the stories you create. But on a personal level, like, man, I grew up in Connecticut. I played some sports. I wasn't that good at them. That's why I'm in the media. And here we are. That's it.
Same.
I go to the beach. I
Me
like
too.
beer.
I like lobster.
Yeah.
We're going
That's
to
all.
get into that later on. Absolutely.
I like to gamble. I like food.
Food's good.
Like I like to watch movies and TV shows and try not to spoil them on the air. I agree with you. I feel the same way you do.
What drama, though, if you're being honest, had you most captivated that you were like, this is stupid, but I can't look away? And I'm not talking Jordan Hudson or Bill Belichick, which checks our box for one mention on the show today. But like in-house that you really liked.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
That's a hell of a question, Andy Callahan.
I will say.
That's why you had the journalist.
I'll say this.
Oh, come on. No. We got 3 minutes so we can run with it.
There is no one that I loved working with and talking off the air with than Dan Lifshitz.
Yeah.
My bankroll boy partner. Who, CC came correct today wearing a Bankroll Boys t-shirt.
That's
so
right.
Shout out.
That's right. Speaking
to
of
her.
station swag.
So I'm going to leave it at that. There is there's nobody better. There is nobody better. Like, you want to throw the hat in the ring? That's my guy. I'm betting on that horse
Oh,
right
we're going
there.
back to the jackass bonus?
Yes.
He might run away with it.
No, he's not a jackass. I'm just saying that's my guy.
Oh, I see
Like,
what you're
I'm
saying,
betting
yeah.
on him.
Sure.
Because he's going to go, he's dying on the hill.
Yep.
That's the one thing. So I'll think about that. I'll brew it.
Okay.
Because, some people
Dan-
really want to know what we have to say. It really wasn't that interesting.
Dan is another guy I never met. I think we got into it on Twitter once last.
Well, then you guys just
Die
became
on the hill.
friends.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and that's the thing, which ended up being like respectfully was like what was going on at camp and what reporters are willing to say this and whether others are willing to be negative. Like that adds hair in your chest or inches to your manhood because you had the gall to say someone was a jerk. I'm like, look, I see and write what I report. That's what it is. And he hadn't been down there. So that was really my shtick. Yeah. But he's another one when I would listen to you guys, because I was wading into the betting waters, when everything became legal in the States. I was like, okay, I don't think any of this is inauthentic. Which honestly, talk about like the 10% louder. I still don't know him. Correct me if I'm wrong. Seemed to fit that same idea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you can fake me and Dan Lifshitz or Dan Lifshitz and I. I don't think you can fake. Adam, I'm the same guy on and off the air.
You are. And I liked what Andrew said a few minutes ago about we truly mostly are because it's just who we are. What did you say? Kind of with the volume
just
turned up a little
10% louder.
I always say that. I always say like you just got to turn the volume up a little bit because that's what makes it a little bit more interesting, or find those aspects of your personality that you want to push to the forefront because those are the interesting pieces.
Yeah.
Right?
People, when I started doing NBC Sports Boston, would ask all the time, oh, man, what's it like to work with Felger? I'm like, yeah, we argue, and then like things are cool during the breaks.
Yeah.
But if there's something he doesn't agree with, he'll still let me know. It's just the volume is literally lower. Like that's all that it is. What you see is kind of what you get.
Sometimes you got to bow too. I did the off-air show with him last week, and I truly mean this. He's the hardest working guy in the business. Like if you do an email chain or whatever, like and he know what his answer was. I should be. So in a way, I was like, all right, cool. Like, you're right. if you're doing multimedia and you're on multiple times a day, and you got to have different spin on the radio to television, right? Like, oh, wait, let's probably Dame Lillard, right? I know the man, so I'm going to assume that he's out on Damian Lillard to the Celtics because they're only going after him because of the money.
Bum loser. Never won anything.
He's kind of a
Hurt, old, doesn't play defense.
Good play. Oh yeah, that's definitely no. But they don't need him. Like, is he a Carmelo mold?
No, because I'll say this: there's a badass gene with Dame, who has hit 2 walk-off shots.
Oh, Dame time? Oh, let's throw that one.
Forget the celebration. How about waving goodbye to OKC because I knocked you out of the playoffs, and that wasn't the only time he's ended a series on a shot like that.
How'd that work out?
That's insane. Name another player who's done that. Active. I don't think there is one.
I'm sure
2 series walk-off shots.
I'm sure Thunder fans will tell you to kiss the ring, even though it happened years ago.
Oh,
they'll tell you to just kiss the ring.
Thunder fan. I guess they're all in Leominster though, because that's where Mark Dagnall's from.
Oh,
head coach.
Leominster, way up Route 2.
Plastic City.
That came up last time I was on. I don't know where Mark Dagnall is in his hometown. It's
a place called Brady's out there. Great, excellent food. We did a bit once where someone just named a town, and I.
Because with Joe Murray, what you see is what you get.
Well, you know what? I do welcome phone calls, and I know we're a little late, but
that's okay. We can take
today's July 3rd. Like, if Festivus is December 23rd, July 3rd should be like its own holiday, right? Yeah. Or like self-proclaimed holiday. Let's talk to George in Austin or Boston. Hey, George.
Hey guys, coming in on the Bruce Buffer story. UFC 194 2015, I'm in Vegas after the fight with my buddies. We're in the middle of the MGM. I see him walking through the casino with 2 absolute babes. I don't know if they were ring girls or not. And obviously I'm like a lot of drinks in, and I go, hey, it's Bruce Buffer. Stops, talks. I'm with my cousin. I go, can we get a picture? He goes, of course. One of the ring girls goes to me, do you want us in the photo? I hand her my phone and go, no, can you take it? Dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. Dumbest thing. Really nice guy, though.
So you got your phone taken. Was that what happened?
No, he had an opportunity to have attractive women in the photo with him, and he said no. He had them take the photo.
I hope
I'd rather Buffer.
10 years since he's seen more hot women. It's a sad existence if it's been that long.
I
do appreciate him calling in, though. That guy had good pep for 6:23 in the morning.
Was he in Austin or Boston?
Boston. You could hear the car.
Yeah. It was Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah, that man got up an hour ago to go to the beach and had his kids in the back who already asleep in their little car seats. And but he's meeting his wife down there because otherwise he would not have brought up the story about missing out on the hot women or been listening to Sports Talk Radio had you been riding shotgun.
It reminds me of that Dumb and Dumber scene where the bus pulls up with all the girls. And they're like, hey, you guys want to come? And that I would love like Wayne's World has different endings. I wish we got a different ending like that with Dumb and Dumber.
You didn't like that? You'll have to excuse my friend. He's a little slow. The town is that way.
Yeah, like I feel like we need a makeover or a do-over on that one. Timmy's in Billerica. Timmy!
Hey, how you doing, Joe? Great show. Joe, 2 things. Is there any way they can replay your show between the hours of 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. because Ben Maller is terrible? And then the next thing is, what are your thoughts on Ilya Topor not being able to go after a 3rd UFC title?
Well, we can do UFC another night. I love to bet the underdogs. What was his other? We can't do that. We have to.
We love Ben Maller.
No,
he loves us.
Well, listen, Ben Maller this year. Fortunately, NBC Sports Boston went with Benny versus the Penny over the weekly spread.
Oh,
so I got a.
Oh, you got a little beef there.
No beef.
Okay.
Ben, for those that don't know, I love his work, and at one point we were a part of the 400-pound club. We are both no longer in the 400-pound club, so I can say that. But hey, you can just listen to everything on YouTube, or on the app. How about that? You don't even have to listen to anything. You can just pop it right on.
And if you keep listening, you get what happened last night with Andrew Callahan next.
Let's do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening.
Trevor Story, famous for playing shortstop for the Red Sox, equally as famous for saying insurance is always a good idea, then supplied some of his own.
Fly ball center field, well hit. Friedel's backing up to the wall, turning around. It's off the wall. Abreu hitting third. Around he comes. He will score. Story slipped a little bit, and he's going to be out at second. But the run does score on that play.
So the Sox win 5-3. Vibes are high. Joe Murray's in the building. The 1975 Red Sox team, a crown crew of winners, is also in the building. A sweep is on the horizon. Brian Bayo gives the Sox 5 scoreless innings, and then things start to unravel with a big lead in the 7th.
In the air, deep left center, over top the monster and out of the ballpark. He left Fenway. He cleared the monster onto the street, and the Reds lead 4-3 on the first grand slam of Encarnacion Strand's career.
So that was the top of the 7th, which then went to a 5-3 lead for the Reds. The Red Sox scratched one across in the bottom of the inning, 5-4, and then give up another run. 2 is manageable, Joe. I'm sure you're thinking watching that 6-4 game, how they got this. Well, that is until you had, of course, an error from the Red Sox. T.J. Friedel setting up Trevor Story here to let 2 more runs in.
It's a short Story, kicks out his backhand glove. Lux scores, stop side Encarnacion Strand. Now he breaks home, and he scores. Both men move up backside. Tag at third, save. Boy, this is a supreme defensive breakdown here in the 8th inning by the Boston Red Sox.
You know it's bad when the away announcer sounds like your disappointed dad when you came home with a D- on the test. The Reds go on to win 8-4, salvaging the series finale. The Red Sox now 43-45, 25-20. They're home. Alex Cora asked about the errors after the game that cost the Red Sox yet again.
Yeah, the one on Toro, backpedaling on that ball. This week the ball is coming off the dirt very hard. He's backpedaling, he misses that one. We had a chance to at least get one. Then on the pop-up, the guy's going back to first. Roman had a clear out there. He overthrew him. And then Trevor was playing 3-depth, and he made the decision that he was going to go get it, and he just missed it.
So Roman has an error. Marcelo Meyer had his own miscue. And
how about your boy Trevor Story, the insurance guy?
Insurance Trevor Story.
Sucks, too.
I don't know what to make of him. Putting a pin in that, though, Romy Gonzalez had arguably the most egregious error of the entire night, though it didn't go into the book as an error.
Yeah. Well, did you play Little League Baseball?
Oh, I played through early high school, baby.
Well, okay. High school. What was one of the rules they taught you not to where to make the first out?
Got such good chemistry here. You're going right where I was.
Oh, okay.
Never make the first or last out at third base. And Romy Gonzalez brings home Jaron Duran. We talk about it goes from 3-0 game to 4-3, 5-3. Then it's 5-4 thanks to that double. And he goes, you know what? It's off the monster. I can stretch this into a triple.
A 300-foot monster.
Yeah.
Trying to get a triple out of it.
Right, with no outs. And there's
in a
Romy
5-4
Gonzalez.
game.
Yeah, at third base, looking like his jackass bonus would have been through the roof for that run. So he gets tagged out. I can't imagine, because I wasn't there.
Oh, I was.
But how deflating was that?
Well, let me tell you, I can confirm that the ball left the yard by Encarnacion Strand. Left the yard. Probably hit Nudia or Cask and Flag. One of those spots.
Well, no. That was like almost dead center.
Man,
it was like the end of the monster.
Nudia. Okay, I'll give it over there. It left the yard.
Yeah.
Definitely. I will tell you, remember how I said I go to the Patriots game once a year? I haven't been to a Red Sox game since 2021, the one-game playoff Yankee. I work nights, so I can't go to the games. I can tell you that Romy Gonzalez one, when he got thrown out of first base, everybody was like, what are you doing? Me? If just hot take land, should have been benched. Send a message, dude. He walked right by Cora. Cora didn't even do anything. And my only thing is, I think that snowballed into the other things in the 8th inning. If you're not going to hold people accountable, you are down 5-3. You get a hit to bring in a run. You could have had a runner at second base with no outs. Right?
Yeah.
That egregious? I need a bigger word than that. That was one of the worst. Who the hell tries to score a triple hitting the left field wall? Sorry. That's what I was saying last night. Yes, I was yelling that. It's a 300-foot wall.
Between mouthfuls of lobster roll, which we'll get into later. Yes.
So you were in the Legend Suite, which we're doing a little bit later. But those guys who were like lived it.
Oh.
Just excellence personified in a baseball field. Watching Romy Gonzalez do that, their reaction was what?
Do you know what one actually? Flex. I hung out with Carlton Fisk all night long. Just me and him. Know what one that bothered him the most? Ceddanne Raphael in the second inning hits a triple, right? No outs, run around third. The very first pitch of the next at-bat's a pop out to the first baseman. First pitch. Pop out. And he goes, what are these guys? They're not trying to sacrifice the guys over or get the run. Like, he was bothered by it. That was just a guy on third, no outs, chasing the first pitch.
So what did he want? Like a suicide squeeze? I mean, if that pitch is down the middle,
how about work a count or try to go the other way with it? Or because the next at bat, it was a line drive to right field. That was an RBI. That was still a close place. Anyways, second inning, leadoff triple. That's
Marcelo Meyer, first pitch swinging.
Boom.
Yeah.
Thank you. But, like, you're a rookie.
Romy Gonzalez is not.
Romy Gonzalez is awful at first base. May I throw that in there as well? He doesn't work the corners. He does have those Nike Dunk. Actually, the Nike high cleats, the Dunk high cleats are very nice. He can't work that bag. He's not a good. Anyways, keep going because it was horrible to watch.
So to your point, just that part about the seventh, I don't know about sending a message at that point for a guy. If you're a repeat offender, maybe. Fly out to center from Connor Wong. Durant singled to center. So he would have scored there coming around from second.
Yeah.
That would have been a tie game, 5-5. Instead, they lose 8-4. Elsewhere in baseball, though, all due respect to the late, great Bernie Mac, Mr. 3000, thy name is now Clayton Kershaw.
1-2 pitch. Strike three called. There it is. He got him with a slider. Strikeout number 3,000 for Clayton Kershaw. History at Dodger Stadium.
So Clayton Kershaw had 3 strikeouts last night. You heard the most important one right there. He gave up 4 runs on 6 innings pitched, 9 hits, and 1 walk to the White Sox. Dodgers won in a walk-off. Clayton Kershaw, I will always remember him coming up as a prospect. And it wasn't that he had a nickname, Joe. It was that his curveball was nicknamed Public Enemy number 1.
Ooh, I like that.
And I wanted so badly, as someone who otherwise does not really care about the Dodgers, to make that strikeout on a big hook because of the nickname and Sandy Koufax, who helped coach him to add spin to that curveball. But do you, as King, loser, bum, loser, see Clayton Kershaw as like all-time living legend, or is he a guy who admittedly chokes in the postseason?
He's arguably one of the top 20 pitchers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I would say right now he is one of 3 active pitchers that will go to the Hall of Fame. Verlander, Scherzer, probably the other 2. I don't think about his postseason. You know why? Because he's got rings, multiple. It's kind of hard for me to look into the details.
So washes
on his
all
rings.
that away.
But yeah, exactly. You know, if you win multiples, it's kind of hard. I mean, you know, Big Shot Bob, Robert Horry, he's got 7, right? But like, do you think Duncan's like, man, I wouldn't? Because Steve Kerr, right? These guys got stripes. I've been saying stripes all week long. I need to stop. But when you have swag like that and that aura, people forget what you even did. All you tell them is kiss the rings, baby.
So that's why I look at guys who only have one, like a championship is something you could pick up at Walmart at a discount bin, and go, you're so great in the regular season that the amount of time we spend sitting in chairs like these and writing in columns like I have at the Herald, just opining about choked in the playoffs. Like, can we appreciate who this guy is? So I'm very glad that he has those 2 rings so people don't say that anymore. But to the other side of that, Robert Horry having 7 rings, like we all know he has a lot of big shots, was not that great of a player.
No, like, not a Hall of Famer.
But gets to be in the conversations because
right.
he was around other great players.
Exactly.
Very good. All right, some good news on the pitch. The U.S. men's national team continues to build some momentum in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. After a disastrous spring, they jumped Guatemala immediately last night.
Here's Diego Luna now. Luna, great dance. Luna!
So that was Diego Luna's second of 2 goals. U.S. was up 2-0 in the first 15 minutes. They held on for a 2-1 win over Guatemala. The real news here is when you are all either stuck in traffic or hungover at home Sunday night, you can tune in to watch the U.S. and Mexico at 7 p.m., as I will be doing, driving back from Connecticut, in what should be a great weekend at my in-laws. Pool, cookout, 4th of July, all the good stuff. Because that is a match I want to see. Even though they got housed by Switzerland in, I think, a friendly last month that had everyone going, I don't even know why we should host the World Cup anymore. We're back, baby. It took 1 month.
I got to tell you, I was out.
Are you back in? Are we doing Godfather 3?
No, but
a win Sunday.
You know what I do? Another thing that I think people don't understand in this town: soccer. We are the home of the Revolution. I have a great relationship with the Revs. We had Peyton Miller on this week, who's a 17-year-old from Connecticut. Did you know that? Peyton Miller from Connecticut.
No kidding.
17 years old, one of the future stars. You can check the interview out at 985thesportshub.com. But my whole point is that I think people here are like, oh, Revs, it's American soccer. No, like, do you understand that the Revs are like the stepping stone and the academy for the rest of the country? Like, there are players who come here that get, that can play for others. Like, PSG is looking at some people. All I'm trying to say is Yamal and, like Messi's coming to town next week. We all know those names, but like they all come through here though too. Do you get what I mean? So I think it's like, oh, the Revs American soccer. No, this is a breeding ground and like an academy, and young players from other places can come here and learn, and then they can get shipped out elsewhere to go play, and you could watch them on EPL and La Liga and all that stuff. So I just think that people are missing the point on the spectrum of soccer. So if American soccer is on national television, we should watch it because it progresses the game. Although we might love the World Cup in that style, American soccer, I don't know how they're going to keep up with the rest of the world. That's kind of my whole storyline. But they might be back. Who knows? One little slip up, they've bounced back.
Back for us, by the way, is just like treading water. Can you just hang around? Can we not have 4-0 at our own expense? Also, I'm gonna put the entire city off the hook for not paying attention to soccer. Joe, we're very busy with football. We're very busy with baseball. We're very busy with hockey and basketball, where Al Horford still not committed to one team or another, but I would bet you this, he is not going to the Lakers.
Oh, is that because DeAndre Ayton went there?
That is exactly why. So, I don't have a great take on the Lakers other than there's a guy who perpetually is just not trying. Famously said, I'm in the NBA to get my first contract. I want to get the max contract, get out of here. I know you know the name DeAndre Ayton. I'm here to tell you, that guy does not give a bleep. You might care more about Lakers basketball than he does. So I'm very excited to see what I think will be a complete meltdown with Luka Doncic now in charge. LeBron complaining through his agent, very powerful agent, Rich Paul. Oh, I want to win, but I'm going to take all of the money that prevents us from having flexibility. And here comes a guy to be a center who's not going to try that hard.
New ownership, too. What could go wrong? What could absolutely go wrong? All right, well, I will take a quick break. What happened last night? We'll continue next after the headline here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, Red Sox split a long day over at Fenway Park. It was very humid last night for those that may have been in the park. They won 5-3 in the suspended game and then lost 8-4 in the nightcap. It wasn't pretty. They had a 3-run lead, gave up a grand slam, made a 5-4 game, bad base running, errors. It was just not great. But you know what happens? We get to watch baseball now on July 4th. 11 a.m. first pitch. No Red Sox were named starters for the All-Star game, as you just heard. Clayton Kershaw, 3,000 strikeouts. Celtics, one of the teams interested in Damian Lillard. And yes, DeAndre Ayton, who was the number one overall pick, who's failed everywhere he's gone. He's going to save the LA Lakers. Headlines, they are presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update soon.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Your gear isn't just your equipment, it's part of your game. At Monkey Sports Superstore in Norwood, they'll help you find the best fit for your sport, style, and level of play. Need sharpening, restringing, or adjusting? They got you. Go talk to their experts and leave with the gear you trust. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
Hey, it's Zoe here, and is your garage door driving you crazy like mine was? Revel Garage Solutions offers top-notch service and repairs to boost your curb appeal and value with a new garage door. Schedule a free consultation today to get 10% off your garage repair or a new door with promo code ZOE at revelgarage.com. That's Revel with the V, the garage transformed.
When it comes to producing a workforce for Massachusetts, industry leaders count on the homegrown graduates of Bridgewater State University. BSU grads trained in world-class facilities and gained real-world experience through hands-on internships. They live here, work here, and they stay here. No wonder the Wall Street Journal named Bridgewater one of the best colleges in America. Elevating business in Boston and beyond, BSU works. Visit bridgew.edu/elevate to learn more.
Craving big flavor on a summer budget? Try the Slider Meal Deal at Kelly's Roast Beef. Just $5.99 gets you a legendary roast beef, crispy chicken, pulled barbecue beef, or popcorn shrimp slider with fries and a Coke. Add another slider for just $2 more. Feeding the whole crew? Grab the Family Slider Meal Deal. 6 sliders, sides, and cookies, only $26.99. Limited time only. Get them while it's hot at Kelly's Roast Beef. Visit kellysroastbeef.com for locations and details. On the Sports Hub.
I mean, he had him. The runner just kept going. Good heads-up play.
How you got in there?
I know a guy.
Okay.
My buddy Barry. He goes, hey, do you want to go to the game? I said, sure. He goes, it's in the Legend Suite. I said, great. Well, yesterday Matt McCarthy is just a baseball savant. And everybody was talking about how great the 75 broadcast was. It was cool until the rain delay, and then I kind of was like, all right, I'm over this. And as the night kept going on in 1975, I'm like, why are we celebrating losers? You got to understand, I'm 43. So for the first 21 years of my life, everybody here was a loser, right? 1967, lost. 1975, lost. 1986, lost. Bird steals the ball. They lost the championship. Like the Flutie drop kick. Didn't they lose? Like, I'm just saying.
Bird's not a loser.
They're not losers. I'm just saying they lost the championship.
Well, you said everyone here was losers.
as in they didn't win the championship.
Continue.
No, you actually, that's fine. You can, however you hear me saying it.
I like to poke in and then
it's okay to poke it out.
No, I know that's exactly what I'm doing.
Because there's no wrong answer here. I feel as though I'm valid. It's just facts. I'm not creating something. This isn't a narrative. It's factual. They lost, and I'm just pointing it out. And they're celebrating it while Terry Francona, who won a championship, is in the other dugout. So let's just spend all night long reminding you and reminding our older folks that you lost in 1975. And yes, was I calling everybody losers? I was.
Well, at least Carlton Fisk didn't punch you right between the eyes and still continue to hang out with you. Oh, can I? Because I'm going to forget if I don't ask you now. Carlton Fisk, Hank, and I'm going to come back to the take in a second. Anything surprise you?
A lot. Yeah, actually.
What did?
Yeah, I'll be transparent about it because he was pretty transparent.
Yeah.
I asked him about the Goodwill Hunting scene, about a girl. He had to sign off on it. He told me that they did ask him about it, and he signed off on it. No royalties, which I'm like, bro. Very cool. I had to ask him about Deion Sanders. So if you know the story,
I don't.
Deion Sanders reportedly or allegedly went into the batter's box and made a dollar sign when he was with the Yankees. Fisk was with Chicago at that time. He popped out. He kind of jogged. Fisk was chirping at him. And then the next time he went in the box, said something to Fisk, and then they went at it. So I had to ask. Like, Deion Sanders is a pretty polarizing figure. I also brought up to him that I use his name often to compare with Adam Vinatieri. Vinatieri is going to be a Hall of Famer.
And a winner.
Fisk is, very much. But played more seasons with the Colts than he did with the Patriots. Fisk played more seasons with the White Sox than the Red Sox. Both will be Hall of Famers. Both ownership did not do well on that one. And I still think to this day, moving on from Adam Vinatieri cost him the 2007 championship.
Really?
Yeah, because they wouldn't let
You think he would have tackled David Tyree?
No, but they wouldn't let Steven Gostkowski kick. They punted instead of, they gave the ball back, and I think they would have went for a 47-yard field goal inside a dome to go up at that time 6 points. I can go back. We can do this if you want.
No, I'm thinking it was a long fourth down.
Yeah, it was 47-yard field goal.
For it.
They either went for it or gave whatever they did, they gave the ball back to him.
Yeah.
But in that sense, I think they could have relied on Adam Vinatieri to go up in that game. I think it would have been a 2-score game if I'm not mistaken.
I'll look that up later. All right, Carlton Fisk. So the thing about the 1975 Red Sox being losers, as you put it, I understand the point. You are losers in the way that 29 other teams now who vie for the World Series and don't get there are losers. There's only one winner. But in Boston, the context at the time was you had 67, and that was it. So this ride to win the American League pennant, in the context of where Boston was at that time, was about as big of a deal for what was still a Red Sox town, despite all the pain they had inflicted upon their fan base. Mm-hmm. And not only that you get to the World Series and you win a pennant, you deliver an all-time memory where you think about a guy like Jason Tatum who has a ring, officially a winner now, as we talk about him here. That guy doesn't have a moment, right? Carlton Fisk is remembered here as a Red Sox, despite playing more seasons for the White Sox, because he delivered that home run, shaking his arms, stay fair, hits the foul pole forever. It almost doesn't matter that they lost in Game 7. You remember that moment and that memory because of what that team was. The last thing I'll say is this. That 1975 Reds team, of which I saw 0 innings and 0 pitches because I was not alive, had 3 Hall of Famers, Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, and Tony Perez. Not to mention the all-time hit king, who will apparently go to the Hall of Fame now because he's dead, and that was the last thing baseball wanted, Pete Rose. 4 Hall of Famers, one of the greatest all-time teams, tied the 2018 Red Sox for most wins in a season ever at a time when I know they had fewer teams. To me, there's no shame in that.
Okay. Bill Buckner had an error in a Game 6 to lose. People will never bring up that he has Hall of Fame numbers. Had a great career. Look up his numbers. He's got over 2.
No, it's I love this. I love this because this doesn't get talked about enough. Like he's an insanely good baseball player.
Wes Welker should be a Hall of Famer. But what is he remembered for?
The moment. And that's what I'm saying. The power of that moment. Like, this is a real question because it sounds ridiculous to anyone listening. Would you rather have a forever moment that you were known for it in the way that Carlton Fisk is, welcome back in Legends Day, even when it's not the 50th anniversary of that 1975 team, or would you rather have a ring and be kind of forgotten?
And this is the discussion we had yesterday. Stop celebrating the moments. How many championships have you covered here now? You yourself.
2.
That's what you should be celebrating.
But if you personally, you get to be Carlton Fisk, or you get to be Logan Bankin's never won a ring.
Logan Bankin's made a lot of money.
He did make a lot of money.
Pretty good. He's got stripes.
Stephen Neal.
Okay. Yeah. Great wrestler. Good little football player.
No, nobody works harder than Stephen Neal.
Yeah, I know.
The most repeated Bill Belichick line of all time.
Listen, it's a good debate. Would you rather the moments or the championships?
Well, and I'm not arguing one way or another. I think it's just curious because, again, you think about exactly what you guys said and apparently yesterday and we're doing now. There's really something about that.
It's evergreen. Do you know that? We could do this anytime you want, really. But, like, there are moments that are celebrated. Ben Watson's run on Champ Bailey gets celebrated. You lost. It was an interception.
How about
you know what I mean? Like,
how about Tyrese Halliburton? Has far many more moments than Jason Tatum, who's a better player, so this is not a one-for-one comparison or conversation. But the idea of that, he's a made guy. And not because he has jewelry, but because he knocked however many teams out in games to win the Cavs, the Bucks, and the Knicks to get to the finals.
Well, I would just say, bringing this all the way back to Robert Horry again. Get some big shots, get 7 rings, right?
That guy's got moments for days, and he still has more rings.
So it's like he's like the, hey man, I made some money, I got some rings, I'm Big Shot Bob, baby. He reminds me of like in Any Given Sunday, Don't Drop Me, I'm Worth $1 million. He's got stripes. He's definitely got stripes. Hey, this hour of the Sports Hub is brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. Oh, what do we have coming up next? Well, there's an annual event on 4th of July. I can't wait to talk about it. We'll do it next with Andrew Callahan, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Maz here from Window Nation, and now you can get 50% off all window styles, plus no interest until 2030. Stop procrastinating on upgrading your home. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to take...
Ganze Eglecha Ashtende West Yoturtra Huftum Shrida. Or, translated to English, prepare to spend eternity in a pit of torment. My time is at hand.
Skills.
I feel like I was listening to a wrestling promo right there.
It's as close to one as you're going to get from George Shea of Major League Eating.
You like that guy, huh?
George Shea reminds me of all the horrible things I used to write when I was younger, and you're just trying to go bigger and better and more dramatic. And even I did play-by-play in college and at UConn. It's some good teams. There was a walk-off in the first round of the College Baseball World Series, which would tell you it's a regional at the first round, whatever. And George Springer was on that team. Matt Barnes was on that team. And I just scream in, "This is drama. This is excellence. This is college baseball." And it took me way too long to be like, no, that was not good. You think you hit a walk-off call that will be played forever on WHUS down the stores. No, that was bad.
Yeah,
let the moment sink.
You got to work through those moments to get to these ones.
Absolutely. A lot of writing, and I think probably doing show is getting all the bad ideas out and then getting to look back and be like, oh, that sucked. I'm not going to do that again.
And taking the risk.
Right.
Joe Murray said, he'd never visited the cafeteria here because he works nights.
Yeah.
So we came up with the idea after Monday show. Joe's like, you know what? I'm going to go down to the cafeteria and I'm going to broadcast live and give everybody the menu and the whole layout. We did it on Tuesday.
Fantastic.
Everyone loved it.
It's like food play-by-play.
Literally.
Yeah, it's great. It worked out well.
Which, by the way, I used to do, I think I've said this on the show, used to do that like on dates. Because, again, think about bad ideas that you cycled through early on when I was in college and it would come up. I got to do radio, not because it's like, oh, look at me. I do student radio, baby. But it was, when you look at other couples in the restaurant, they're chatting or they're doing whatever, and it was just kind of making stuff up on the fly. But you were doing that with inanimate objects in the cafeteria, reading the menu.
I think reactions are the best thing, Mr. Callahan.
Yeah.
I think just if you see like a sandwich you like and you go, oh, baby, it's not like, it's not an act. I'm really, oh, baby.
I've heard that
looks
sound
good,
before. And not even like in our interviews, just like if I heard a Joe, the sound that comes to oh, baby. And I know it's roast beef on the other or something.
Well, so I moved to the North Shore, so all of a sudden everyone just, you've heard of the three-way.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what it is. I grew up in Boston. We didn't have them in Hyde Park. We in Rosendale and West Roxbury. We didn't have them there. So you had to cross the Tobin Bridge, which nobody ever does who lives in my town. And you go over there and you say, can I get a roast beef three-way? And they look at you like, okay. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
But now over time, not to get into the roast beef talk, I now have a certain way I like my beef. And I don't know how you like things served to you. Like sometimes people put it in a nice little bag, or like, at Chipotle, they put it in that little container thing with the metal on one side.
The bowl.
Exactly.
Bowl. Yeah.
That's a great presentation. Okay? But for me, I'm all about the clamshell. If anything you give me, lobster roll, roast beef sandwich, even a regular sandwich, I like the clamshell. It can be a styrofoam or clear. Doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
But I love the presentation of eating in a nice little clamshell bowl.
So you just want to open it like a present. That's what that's about.
Exactly.
Really, though, it makes sense. What else
like
is
a ring.
Every meal is a gift.
When Joe left here on Tuesday, what did he do? He went and ripped boxes for Fanatics down there in Boston, right? Like that. It's part of the activity that you enjoy. Is the
it's like the unboxing.
Unbox this meal.
Yes,
and you
that
even
I'm about
know
to consume.
what's inside. But you're so excited to see it. Yeah.
I break cards. That's what I do on the side. I get cards come in. All right, let's see what we got.
Right. That's a great feeling.
But you get so when I went downstairs, I met Eric, great chef downstairs. Shout out to Cloud9. I was on Cloud9 at the Cloud9 Cafe. And I do want to get into this bit that we're about to do quickly.
It's a great bit, yeah.
But I want to let you know that it turned into me and Eric becoming friends and ordering food for everybody, and we all ate that day too.
In clamshells?
No, these ones are wrapped up.
They were wrapped, but sometimes like
wrapping paper.
If you get a breakfast down there, it's in the clamshell. You get like an omelet
Exactly.
with some
That's what I was gonna
jalapeno
say.
peppers, little home fries.
I've never been down there. So I got to go on my way out today. Or we send me in the 9 o'clock hour. And
Maybe
I
we
just
do that. Yeah. I was going to say, do the bit again.
Show today.
Yeah, run it back.
I would love that, actually.
It's great.
But
Morning live, Cloud 9.
There's only a few things, though, I do like wrapped. That Five Guys burger in a tinfoil, I don't know what it is.
Yep.
I don't know if the tinfoil like congeals it or whatnot.
It's part of the experience.
I don't know what it is, but for the most part, yes, you're right. Presentation is big on me. Anyway, speaking of presentations,
Yes.
So July 4th is the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest.
Yes.
And little did we know the names: Joey Chestnut, Jeffrey Esper, local guy. Mickey Sudo is the women's champ, who I should put respect on her name. She's won 10 in a row.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Going for 11. You can bet on all this, just so you know. And you can go over-unders and all that, and I'll pull those up. But there's other contestants, too, that I didn't realize they got stripes, too. Let's hear it.
They do. So we have, you heard at the beginning of the segment, George Shea from Major League Eating. He does these big bombastic intros to these eaters. So I don't even have to give you the resumes. You're going to get that in the bit. I'm going to tell you the eater's name, and you're going to hear George Shea go down some of their records. We've bleeped out the amounts of food that these competitive eaters consume, and it's up to the two of you to figure out how much they've eaten. So we'll start with Nick Weary. Listen to this.
The bloodline of the warriors who fought in the great battles at the beginning of time stretches forward through the eons. And even today there are those who share this birthright. And so shall history hear the echo of itself in the triumphs of this man. Hard-boiled eggs in 3 minutes.
Okay, we'll stop there. Bleep hard-boiled eggs in 3 minutes.
How many hard-boiled eggs in 3 minutes?
3 minutes, right?
3 minutes. Hard-boiled eggs. How many did Nick Weary take down? And I believe it's Weary. Whery. Apologies if I am mispronouncing.
10. Can you do 10 a minute?
Yeah. I mean, you could do 10 hot dogs in a minute.
I'm going to do 42.
42. Okay.
Give me 58.
Well, Joe's going to get that one because it's closest without going over it. 50 is the answer.
Wow.
50.
Oh, that's gross.
But it's not only what this guy's eating.
And 4 seconds. Gallons of baby food.
Oh.
Gallons of baby food is another specialty of Nick Weary. So how many gallons of... Oh, actually, I should probably give you the... Let me give you the time limit on this. Hold on.
Of baby food. Hot dogs and...
Oh, okay. So he didn't give you the time on the blank gallons of baby food.
What kind of childhood trauma led to this man devouring gallons of baby food and hard-boiled eggs?
Hey, come on down. We're doing a baby food eating challenge. Winner gets a gift card to where? Michael's?
All right, I'm going to go first. Give me 2.5.
2.5 gallons.
I was going to say gallons, man.
That's like the milk challenge. You ever see people do that like in high school?
I have.
You can only do so much milk because then it comes back.
I've done wing eating. I once had my photo on the wall at the halfway count.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Man.
Which one?
Dedham, Massachusetts.
Dedham? Okay, right on.
Yeah.
2.5.
I'm a Watertown.
By the way, it was a handmade. Somebody actually drew it. You know what? I'm going to say 3.
3. You're both wrong. Only 2.
Okay.
Only
a gallon's tough. A gallon's tough.
Yeah, gallons. Yeah.
Let's move to Jeffrey Esper, who is a name that if you're into competitive eating and Major League Eating is probably a name that you've heard. Let's listen to this.
He is a man of great wisdom, whose patience is surpassed only by his determination. And he never questions the power of belief, and he will never turn away from his goal.
Hey, this is the pizza guy. The world's record pizza eater is Jeffrey Esper. You've probably seen, if this stuff's in your algorithm, you've absolutely seen Jeffrey Esper on your TikTok or your Instagram Reels or your YouTube Shorts or whatever, because this guy's the real deal. It's number 2 ranked.
Friend of the station.
Friend of the station as well.
That's right.
First of all, just because I cannot get enough of the announcer. Things like that were not said about dead English kings.
No.
They are rolling over in their graves going, I should have hired this guy to stand next to me as I walk down the royal aisle.
The Stark family.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Onward when broken, when beaten, when flogged, when tarred and feathered. Onward, he says, with the pizza slices. How many minutes?
How many? Let me actually, let's see if he gives that. Hold on for a moment.
Slices of pizza.
No, just the number, just the full number.
All right, you go first.
All right, I'm going to go 5 times 8, 40. Let's do one more. 45.
45 slices of pizza.
All right, I'm going to Price is Right you. I'll take 36.
Jeffrey Esper has taken down 83.
Oh, my
slices
God.
of pizza.
What does he roll the thing up and 8 at a time?
I would love to watch some. You know what? We'll watch some of that footage during the break and see.
What does the next day look like? I know they're professionals.
Oh, baby.
That is a lot of
yes, have you heard like
there's a South Park episode where I think I know what happens the next day, and it's Bono.
Man versus Food. Adam, I can't think of his last name, who was the host of Man versus Food for years and had to quit because
I know what you're talking about.
He's just like, I can't, but my body can't handle the abuse that I'm putting it through. And he was very strict about
Richmond.
Adam Richmond, thank you. He would prepare ahead of time, knowing what kind of challenge he was doing. He would post afterwards. Get because you just took in this insane amount of calories. You now have to work those off. But again, the processing of it, whether it's coming out the top or coming out the bottom, is a problem.
This is like taking the Super Size Me documentary and squeezing it into 10 minutes.
You want a couple more of
please,
Jeffrey Esper's?
86, though. I'm actually really impressed.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, let's see what else he's chomping on.
Cans of spam.
One more time.
All right.
Cans of spam.
Which I guess you're probably 3 biting those, right? Like you're taking a big a third of it, swallow, a third of it, swallow, jam the last one down.
I'm going to say 60.
60 cans of spam.
I've never had spam, so this is a little bit harder.
Really?
69.
Nice.
You know what? This one's low. 13 cans of spam.
Oh, it's that bad.
I'm guessing because it's so dense, right? Where it's just the processed meat.
What is spam? Is it pigeon?
It's
is that the
ham.
P in spam is for?
Just ham.
Just ham?
I don't know. To me, it's ham in a can.
Special ham?
You want one more?
Ham in a can.
You want one more of Jeffrey Esper's records?
I got to get one here.
All right, here we go.
Pounds of strawberry shortcake.
They choose this.
I think we need more of this guy later.
Yes. Yeah. We're coming back to this in the 8 o'clock hour. We got more competitive eaters. Don't worry about it. We're going to do more of this.
I want Shay GPT.
Yeah.
I want him to wake me up every morning.
Or like your Waze app or your take a left.
The sun has risen and so shall you, Andrew Callahan, because it will be a good morning and a good day.
I want him with me at the gym, tipping the scales at 200 and we'll skip that. Now to the bench press. He got one. A glorious one. All right. Pounds of
strawberry shortcake.
Good God.
Man, I love strawberry shortcake.
8 pounds of strawberry shortcake.
Well, I have questions.
Okay.
Is it, what is the strawberry shortcake? Is it that store brand crap or is it a biscuit?
You're getting, I'm guessing it's the sponge, strawberries, whipped cream.
Sponge is easy.
Yeah.
Pounds, huh?
Yeah. Pounds of strawberry shortcake.
Ooh, man. All right. Well, sweets are tough too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 3.5 pounds.
You're going low. What was yours again, Andrew?
Mine's low, huh?
8.
Andrew came closest. 24
What?
pounds.
How can you consume 20 pounds of strawberries and cream?
It's amazing.
20 pounds?
He has one stomach, right?
Also, these are from last year's Nathan's hot dog eating contest where Joey Chestnut did not participate. So he also is giving for these competitive eaters how many they ate the year before. So that would be 2023. So Jeffrey Esper was good for 51 hot dogs and buns. Our guy Nick Weary, who we heard from earlier, 48 hot dogs and buns. So these are serious competitive eaters here.
Nick Weary married to Mickey Sudo.
Oh, right on. Hey.
Imagine that. We got our a power couple.
Bathroom's going to be a disaster.
I want to share.
Those two sharing a bath. I hope they got his and hers. Or maybe a third one. Maybe they have a his and hers, and then, okay, this is the one after we've done a competitive eating event. We're going to use the downstairs bathroom, the cellar, the basement bathroom.
Later on, I want to ask this question, but I'll tease it now. How about that?
Sure.
No answers. Is Joey Chestnut an American hero? We'll leave it there.
Okay.
I did want to talk a little bit of Patriots. Is that okay with you?
Oh, I'd love that.
Hey, because it's been a little dull the last couple of weeks with storylines, I would say.
Yeah, everyone's on vacation.
Yeah,
People are at the
it
beach,
was 5
at the
weeks.
lake.
That's right.
You know what? I want a documentary, though, on what happens next with all these eating contests. I mean, we brought up the bathroom, the situation, this and that. How much do you eat? Give me like a half-hour doc.
Yeah.
And just the solo shots and the pain. I don't need to see.
Oh, and I like a documentary style where you're sitting down with like a dozen or so of these eaters, and they're all telling you their post-event stories and how
Like,
they
I got my stomach pumped.
process. Yeah, exactly.
But I won.
Yep. I held it down for the prerequisite 5 minutes, and then it all flew. 90% of it flew out the way it came in, and then the other 10% came out later on that day.
All right. Well, for the people who thought this was trash radio, I will tell you, where else are you going to get this content?
That's right.
I felt like we did a service, an
Timely
American service,
and topical 4th of July content.
Who would have thought? We're not mailing it in at all.
No.
Andrew Callahan's here of the Boston Herald. We'll do a little bit of Pats talk next here on the Sports Hub.
More Toucher and Hardy next on the Sports Hub.
side.
Oh, the competitive
during the
eating, you
break.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was worse? 86 slices of pizza, 24 pounds of shortcake, 50 whatever hard-boiled eggs. Forget about it. We should save one of those for maybe a 2 stats on the live punishment at the end of next season.
Oh, wow. Oof. Oof.
Wonder how many snack and bacons I've had on the way in this week. So I work nights.
Yeah.
So I don't, the breakfast options really aren't my thing. It's kind of like where are we getting a sub today, or I make food at home and bring it in like a Tupperware.
Is it in the clamshell?
It is in a very nice Tupperware bowl that does flip open. It's very nice.
Yep.
I have a wooden one that has an elastic over it too. It's very upscale these days. Got to really keep that in there. I also have a book bag that it has a thermal inside, so if I have cold drinks and I put it in there, it stays cold.
I need one of those for training camp. 3 weeks. Be out there in the hill.
I don't know what the name of it is.
And the
hill.
day you come down, you got to let me know.
Yes, I will.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, you should come on. I'll be on the air. I don't know who I'll be with, but I'll be there. All right. So I have 3 things on the Patriots. Feel free to shoot fish in a barrel and burn it down. Take me down.
Oh, I'm ready.
Number 1. How about I start with under 8.5 wins? I'm not doing it to be the contrarian different side of it. I just don't think they've really upgraded. And can they stop the run? Because they couldn't last year.
So they have upgraded. Their weak points are still their weak points, and those are positions that are really important. And specifically, when we talk about premium positions in the NFL, everyone can obviously tell you quarterback, right? The other ones are going to be receiver, corner, the great corner, and offensive tackle. The reason those are premium positions is because much like an NBA star late in the shot clock, you have to win your one-on-ones. And tackles win one-on-one because very often, Joe, the protection that teams will use is we're going to slide left, we'll slide right. What that means is 4 offensive linemen go one direction, and the tackle on the opposite end has his guy one-on-one. And when you look at the Patriots tackles, you're counting on Will Campbell, who, forget the arm conversation. Done with that. He's here. He's got short arms, whatever. The history of rookie offensive tackles, even those taken in the top 5, is not great. Morgan Moses, older guy, 34. And at receiver, Stephon Diggs looks ahead of schedule, looks great, could win. But aside from that, who else can win one-on-one? So to me, if you do take the under, it's fine by me. I have a take we'll get to in a second, but I'm very curious about number 2 and 3.
Josh McDaniels.
Oh, no.
I'm not in on this one.
Was that Lifshatz's avatar for the longest time?
Still is.
Still is? Okay.
Me and Lifshatz are on the same page on this one, so feel free to just, crap this one up. I don't think anybody was knocking on the door for Josh McDaniels. I don't think anybody wanted him. That they just had a list of top of the century offensive coordinator, and it was Shanahan, not McDaniels, who's won 3 championships. Oh, 3 as an offensive coordinator.
You know what's funny, though? Can you remember an offensive season, or just a season, for Kyle Shanahan as an offensive coordinator, except for the Falcons Super Bowl year?
No, and that's what we went
through. So why does he get a bump?
That was the conversation.
He's doing it as head coach.
I don't want Josh McDaniels here, but I could admit he's been the most decorated offensive coordinator.
Yes, I think he's a top 10 coordinator in the league. I understand.
Today?
Yeah, today. I think the history bears it out, and I'm not talking about the Brady years, which, look, it takes a lot to clear a table that's cluttered with 6 Super Bowl titles and all the numbers and stats. Brady is the greatest. He deserves most responsibility. He did the work. That was him. McDaniels in the years without Brady, the Cam Newton and nobody else offense that they completely rearranged in an offseason when there were no OTAs, no minicamp, no preseason. We're going to build this around Cam, get the most we can out of him. You go 7-9. Mac Jones the next year with, granted, a good offensive line, but no real weapons. Okay, and doing what you did, because Mac was never better than when he was with Josh McDaniels. As a head coach, complete and utter disaster. No debate there. But you even want to go back to Matt Castle, which is the year that he got his first job. Mm-hmm. Every time he's not had Tom Brady, he's exceeded expectations. And I think now Drake May is arguably physically gifted. Not the quarterback, not the potential. He's never going to be Brady. But when you look at what the kid can do, there are things there that he can that Brady couldn't.
I think Thomas Brown's the guy that Vrabel wanted, not McDaniels. You can tell me all the stories. I still think Kraft had an involvement in that. But I'm just a hot take guy who sits here, and that's what I think. Doesn't mean I'm right. It's just what I think. Also, I think that if Drake May is good, it's not because of Josh McDaniels. It's that Drake May is good. And if he has a down year, the fall guy will be Josh McDaniels.
They have a down year. I don't think anyone's going to be a fall guy because you just had so many fall guys a year ago, which isn't to get into whether Gerard Mayo deserved it or not conversation. It was the right move to fire him and hire Mike Vrabel. But they would also then have to clear out all those coaches and then pay them to go away. You know what I mean? And I don't know what Josh makes. I know Josh has been local for years after he got fired by Las Vegas. Ownership is a fan, but Burt Breer reported that Vrabel was talking with him, I think, in late November, early December last year. And that was before the Crafts had made up their mind that Gerard Mayo should go after that Chargers game, even before the bye week, which started with a near loss to the Colts. So I think Vrabel was knocking on his door. And the best part about McDaniels, let's say this, unlike other offensive coordinators who perform, put up numbers, score a lot of points, no one is going to be knocking on his door to be a head coach and leave. There is no flight risk here. That is what you want with a young quarterback and a new head coach. He's a good problem solver. That's what I like about Josh.
Okay. Just remember I said that.
Yeah.
If Drake May has a bad year, people aren't going to blame Drake May.
No.
They're going to blame Josh McDaniels.
I just don't think he's going to lose his job. I think you might shuffle around Todd Downing, your guy Thomas Brown, Doug Marrone.
Thomas Brown's my guy.
Yeah.
My number 3 is I'm still not – the Vrabel thing, I'm still not sold. He had his struggles. I still don't love the idea of a defensive head coach as the head coach. But I have watched Forged in Foxborough. I do like what I've seen. I'm anticipating episode number 2 on the 18th. But although I think he has changed the culture, and they needed this, why didn't they do it a year ago? That's a different question. But I at least still have questions about Mike Vrabel as a coach.
So this is
in an offensive league, I should add.
This is specific to you because you just brought it up, but I'm going to zoom out and apply this to all Patriots fans because I'll see this on Twitter. Our guy Doug Kyde will see this, other reporters, whatever, who will go, I'm not buying the propaganda, the Patriots cartel, and all these reports that you have out there that are negative. This is the propaganda. It's from the team. They're feeding it to you. But then you're at home. You got some time. You put on YouTube. You're like, oh, yeah, Forged in Foxborough. Let me eat this up with a spoon. The literal team-produced propaganda of snippets and video of what they want you to see, which is only going to be in a positive light, and that's their job. PR, indoor content. It's always rosy. You're never going to read about Aaron Hernandez on Patriots.com, but you'll hear about him in the media because our job is to tell the good and the bad. I've not watched Forged in Foxborough. I am a Vrabel believer. If you want to go, hey, his last 2 years in Tennessee sucked. I can't argue. What I would say is, the talent here, and specifically the quarterback, is better than anything he had in Tennessee. I think all around.
I think Derrick Henry was better than anything they have here.
Better than Christian Gonzalez?
Yeah.
So, I don't want to say give you that one, because people say give you that one like that's up to me.
Fair.
Let's say
Just
I
say
agree.
it's fair.
Let's say I agree. Well, it's fair. Go back to the premium position point. Derrick Henry can never, unless the offensive line does its job, win one-on-one. Christian Gonzalez is always one-on-one.
If he can
so
stay on the field.
his impact as an individual player is less dependent on everyone else around him to do his job.
I agree. I actually agree with all that.
Oh, I think that's mostly covered, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, you're around the team. I look at it differently because I think as a coach, you sometimes do need to give players confidence that, hey, maybe you were doing the right thing and maybe something did happen. Ramondre Stevenson wasn't always a fumbler. He wasn't always that guy. I do think that he's asked to do more, and now, just like the Red Sox, Romy Gonzalez is trying to do too much. Jaron Durant's trying to do much. I could probably give you all the Celtic stuff that the guys are doing too much. Stevenson doing way too much, and I think that's why he's been giving up the ball a little bit more. But I think Vrabel knows he can play and is trying to say, hey, you know what? Not all on you, man. Because that's a player's coach.
He's covering for him, right? That's you know what that is? It's not even the player's coach, because some people hear you say that and they go, soft. You got to put down the hammer. You got to show you're in control. Send a message, bench him. You're the modern coach who says confidence is important. And sometimes we have to foster that. Sometimes I have to say things I know are not true, because Ramondre Stevenson fumbled 7 times. Even if you take more than half of that, 4 of them off the table, and he was responsible for 3 fumbles. That's a bad season for a running back unless you were going out for 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns.
You're right. For the amount of touches he had, too many.
I'll add this, too. As someone who's in the locker room every single day last season, I don't think Ramondre Stevenson's confidence took a big hit as a result of that. But when you already know he's one of your best players, he's one of your best players under contract for a long time, his confidence and your relationship with him is really important. And so Vrabel goes, we're not winning, we're not playing, we're not even practicing at that point in the offseason. He's doing the media tour, January, February, combine, draft, all this stuff. Why not do my best to win him over, build that relationship and confidence, so when he shows up in April, which was delayed because he lost his father, and continue to center best Ramondre, I'll get the best out of him. Because he knows already I've got his back. I got to take for you now. People are underestimating how wild this September could be for the Patriots, the start of the season. Like, you talk about taking the under, okay? This team, in my opinion, could start 0-4.
I agree.
Or 0-5. Mm-hmm. They could also start 4-0 or 5-0. And 5-0 is big.
I'm
Week 5 is
happy
at
with
Buffalo.
the split, by the way.
Sunday
just so
night.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm think it's good for us here when the Patriots are good. It's very bad when they are bad. Trust me. There's a lot. These post games haven't been great for me the last couple of years. But no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
This is a fascinating year. The Raiders game? Oh, you mean to tell me Max Crosby's not already licking his chops going against Josh McDaniels in a – I know he plays multiple positions, mostly on the left or whatever, but, oh, Will Campbell? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's already watching film.
Yeah.
He's already thinking about arm length, jabs at him.
Yeah, the long arm move.
Yeah.
I'm going to go straight arm right into your chest, and we'll see what you do with it. And Will Campbell can recover, and we don't have to get into minutia. But the Raiders are about equal talent with the Patriots.
Absolutely.
Steelers, about equal talent. They come in week 3. In between that, it's a trip to Miami. House of horrors for the Patriots, even at their best. And then Carolina rolls in week 4. And you can go, that's a win. Man, if you watch the second half of the season, you know that Panthers team, and specifically Bryce Young, was completely different if you tuned out after Bryce Young got benched, I think, week 3 last year. All of which is not to hype up the Patriots' opponents, is to say that every September, the NFL swats us across the face, me in the press box, you sitting here in the studio and go, you know nothing. Because we don't. Last year is a perfect example. The Patriots were game management away from starting 2-0 under Gerard freaking Mayo. 2023, disastrous season. You know how close they were to starting that season 2-0? Okay, the end of Bill Belichick was a Kayshon Boutte toe away on 4th down for beating the Eagles in week 1, and then a Cole Strange lateral on 4th down from beating the Dolphins at home and starting 2-0. Imagine Bill might still be here. That's how fine the lines are in the league, and we read the magazines and predictions, we do the takes and then this and that, fantasy, whatever, and we get so certain they're going to break out, they're going to suck, they're going to the Super Bowl. This is my job. I don't know, but I do know this team has a wider range of outcomes than anyone is discussing. Whether you're high on them or you're low on them, everybody's right.
Schedule is favorable, there's no doubt about it.
To start, yes. And if you're going to exceed expectations, 10-7 or better, you better start 3-1, 4-1, 4-2.
Okay. How's that, Adam 12?
It's a good segment.
Thank you.
Well done, both of you.
Sports takes.
What do you think of this Andrew Callahan guy? He's all right, right?
He's
You
all
like
right.
him? Yeah.
No, what I like about him is I'll admit that I'm just sitting in a studio being a fat guy just saying whatever I saw. Right? Like, hey, I go once a year and I give you my opinion. I'm very transparent about that.
Yeah.
I love the transparency.
You're there.
But also some people would not admit the Patriots being good is good business for the sports hub.
Oh, it's
and I will
good.
tell you this, when talk about miss, which we did in the first hour. People are like, oh, you're just doing that for the clicks and the negative stories. What story do you think I'm writing with Karen Guregian after the Matt Patricia year and Doug Kyde after the whole disaster with Bill if they were not 8-9 and 4-13? Probably something better or not at all. People read when they're happy, okay?
Yes.
A little bit more than when they're that pissed. I'm not saying it goes both ways, but my job gets easier when they're better.
You must love the guys like me who just from afar, who aren't there, right?
No,
We're not
no.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Who we just like, this is what we do. And blah, blah. 617-779-0985. And you must be in the, hey, listen, I'm guilty. I'm not even, I want the smoke.
The locker room's a mess.
Yes.
I haven't been there in years. I can tell you it's terrible because this little soundbite that we pulled and clipped specifically before he said, we'll see and we'll move past it. I've never been in there.
So I did once, I wanted to send it to Bedard, but I didn't. But I did want to send a shirt that said I was there. Just once. I was there once.
But the once is in parentheses.
I'll tell you this, though.
I was there once.
I know the job here, and I know some of the bits. And that's fine. That's your work. My work is different. I get that.
No,
Except when I'm here. But there are people that do my work and don't come that often, but are just as certain as someone who shows up on a Thursday. And sometimes the locker room's totally empty because the players go, F off, I'm not talking to you. I go, okay, fine. That's fine. But at least I'm there to tell you what happened.
Speaking of knowing the bits, you've been bringing a bit to this morning show for quite a while now, and we've got 2 versions of it to get through this morning. So
you know what? You are the clock savior.
Thank you.
I'm getting worse on that, I think.
It's a learning curve, and this is also this time of day is a black hole when it comes to hitting the brakes.
Hey, real quick.
Yes.
You can be honest with me.
Yeah.
Who's better at the clocks, myself or Fred?
I'll be honest with you, Fred is.
Thank you.
I like to give Fred a hard time, but he's improved and he's mindful of it, but sometimes he just doesn't care enough to break on time.
Just so you know, my role is to ask for forgiveness.
Yes, not permission.
Exactly. Well, I hit the headline here that I will read for you next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Red Sox split a doubleheader. They almost had a sweep, but they lost the night game 8-4. Hey, Clayton Kershaw, you are one of the 20th best pitchers of all time because you have 3,000 strikeouts. And DeAndre Ayton's going to the Lakers, and maybe LeBron is happy. Headlines, they are brought to you by Veterinary Urgent Care Center. With 8 locations in Mass and Rhode Island, VUCC offers compassionate, convenient, high-quality care 7 days a week. Walk in or book an appointment at veturgentcare.com. Veterinary Urgent Care Center, urgent care for your pet's urgent needs. I'm Joe Murray, and I love urgency.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Cut your energy bills without sacrificing comfort. Upgrade your home with Bruin Remodeling and their energy-efficient windows, providing superior insulation and comfort. They offer free estimates with no obligation. Plus, when you tell them Big Jim sent you, they'll give you up to 20% off your project. Visit BruinRemodeling.com to schedule your in-home estimate.
Get versatile entrees at Whole Foods Market. Save 20% on no antibiotics ever, air-chilled boneless, skinless chicken breast with Prime through July 8th. Toss on the grill for a protein-packed salad, pasta, or rice bowl. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Skip the candlelight pasta and do date night differently. F1 Arcade is part upscale bar, part off-the-track racing experience. You and your date can grab craft cocktails, order shareable plates, and then hop into a simulator and see who really drives the relationship. Fast tracks, good vibes, and even better company? Win or lose, you're both in for an unforgettable night. Visit F1 Arcade, located at 87 Pier 4 Boulevard in the Seaport, or book your experience now at f1arcade.com.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Sleeping hot this summer? Try a Tempur-Pedic with advanced cooling at Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. Save $500 on Tempur-Breeze and get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
In New Hampshire. Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance is in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated, because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life. And fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Northeast Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands.
99 Restaurant the day after the Red Sox win and get a free kids meal with every adult entree purchased. The 99 Restaurant, the official family restaurant of the Boston Red Sox.
Be sure to enjoy the game in an ice-cold, refreshing Corona at the Soco Tavern on Huddleston Avenue in Fairhaven. Relax and enjoy the finer life of sports with Corona. La Playa awaits. Must be 21 plus. Relax responsibly.
contractors and landscapers, tee-hee. It's not tractor magic we're talking about today. It's package magic.
Package magic.
Norfolk Power is all about the package. The wait is over. The package shall be delivered at Norfolk Power.
With package
Boston Sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today.
It's called rising and grinding.
Start your
Got your finger on the pulse, Fred. Seldom right and never wrong.
Right here. Is that Toucher or is that Hardy?
I know, looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
Let's do this. It takes 2 steps from the other night. And one might see you can get it right. It takes 2 steps from the other night. And one might see you can get it right.
2 stats, 1 lie. Where did this come from? Like, when did you, what was, it's a good bit.
I was sitting in the parking lot, I think before the first time I came in, maybe the second time, and it was in season. And you can hear it in the original song. Oh, what's there? Seven now, I think Nick said.
There's 7, right? There's 6, and then there's a holiday edition.
The real MVP of,
We'll get to
2
like 4
stats
of them
and a lie
today.
is Nick.
Yes.
With all the music, all
intros.
the songs. Did we listen to a Christmas edition I'd never heard of last week or 2 weeks ago when I was in? But yeah, just came in and I kind of pushed for it, and I even said you can hear me like a little boldly, be like some imaging would be nice, and here we are, still rolling.
Well, I will tell you this: I work with a lot of people, and I appreciate people that have bits when they come in.
Oh, someone shows up and has something you can kill a segment or two with right off the bat.
It's like you become friends.
Dream.
It's like, dude, whoa.
And I like it. And let's, while we're shouting out MVPs, here's Joe Murray, who yesterday was like, I haven't worked with Andrew before. I'd like to learn more about him. So we came up with the idea of like, we'll do an Andrew Callahan edition of 2 Stats, 1 Lie. So that Joe can get to know you better.
So which one are we doing right now?
We're going to do that one now.
Okay.
Yeah, the boring one.
I'll play along too, since it's just the
got
three
it
of
or
us.
he got it?
He's got it.
All right, let's do it. So this is more about Andrew Callahan.
Yeah, this
2
is
stats, 1 lie.
upon request.
Okay. Yes.
All right, we ready?
Okay.
I think we have music to the back. Maybe this is a Hardy thing.
You want another? Oh, you know what we could do since you gave the we'll throw in another edition of the of the theme song. Hold on for a second here so that we can have because again there's 6 of them.
I think that
Andrew's got 2 stats, but he only has 1 no good stinking
I've heard 2
lie.
stats living in just 1 lie. I've heard
Andrew's
that
got
one.
2 stats, but has only 1 lie. Who will guess correctly?
All right, fire away, Andrew Callahan.
Number 1, I have ridden in more championship parades than any active Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox, or Bruins player.
Ooh.
Number 1, I've ridden in more championship parades than any active Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox, or Bruins player. Number 2, I helped build a Fenway Park-style wiffle ball field in my backyard as a kid. Number 2, I built a Fenway Park-style wiffle ball field in my backyard as a kid. Number 3, I have spoken at 3 high school graduations. Number 3, I have spoken at 3 high school graduations.
Okay, would you like me to give you the lie?
Yes.
This is the deliberation part, but it seems like you made up your mind.
I mean, Joe, have you?
No, I sniffed it out already.
Oh, look at you!
I did an investigation.
Joe Murray just like immediately. Nah, I can figure this out. He says.
Yeah, I thought he might have questions. I've got details. I figured I could share, but we're good.
I feel as though when I meet somebody,
this is the Patriots practice test all over again. He sucks. He's good.
You know what else is funny? Just real quick on this. There are times where I might just see a article and just see the headline, and I don't even read the article, and I just go off that.
You are not alone in that, my friend. And I got to tell you, someone who writes those articles, we hate you.
No, you're right. No, thank you, because listen, you're right.
Yeah.
No, we do this on our YouTube too. Like, well, I'll the other day I did this headline that was copycat league, right, about the NBA and how everyone's going to try to be like Oklahoma City, and I just said it. I just did it as a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Not even the next day. Brad Stevens goes, "Well, did you see the NBA Finals?" And I go, "Whoa, I was just doing that," and I saw the clicks, and I went, "Oh, baby!" So it works every once in a while.
I will see headlines, I'll admit, on social or full videos from my appearances on here and be like, did we even talk about that? It's just like,
Get it?
Patriots suck again. Yeah. It's like Callahan sets Gerard Mayo on fire and pisses on the flames. I'm like, that didn't happen at all.
And then you clicked, right?
Yeah, but then I was like, I was there. What do you mean? I don't like. And it's like 13 minutes. I'm like, hopefully people watch for a minute and be like, well, that's not what it was. This is not living up to the hype. But
so now when you see something I say, you can just be like, Joe Meyer, just read the headlines again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Number one's a lie. The rest two are true.
Okay, so you're saying number one that he's ridden in more championship parades than any active Patriots, Celtic, Bruin, or Red Sox. Is that?
Yeah, because he told me earlier he only covered 2 championships.
Okay, so here's why I think I'm going to be able to get this, because I've played the game a few times and I've tried to get into the brain of Andrew Callahan. Read that first one again, please, Andrew. The way that you wrote it.
I've ridden in more championship parades than any active Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox, or Bruins player.
It sounds complicated, and it's meant to sound complicated because it's meant to throw you off the scent. I think that is true. I think number 2 has to be true because that is very that's a memory. That's a tough kind of memory to fabricate. That's to me,
how
Andrew,
about who didn't do that in
right.
the backyard?
But Andrew, but really,
8 foot tall wooden green monster, plastic fencing all the way around,
right? But
pesky pole in the ground.
This is something that Andrew Callahan, knowing him, this is absolutely something he did, and he's putting this together. He says, I need to have some good personal information in here, so I'll throw that memory in. So by process of elimination, I'm choosing number 3 as the lie because I think maybe you spoke at 1 high school graduation and not 3 high school graduations. That's my take. So Joe is saying that 1 is the lie.
Yes.
I'm saying that 3 is the lie. I am hitting the drum roll, or maybe I'm not because it wasn't there and now it is. There we go.
Well, Joe Murray, welcome to 2 Stats and a Lie. You were wrong, my friend.
Wow.
Adam 12 got me. Number
Yes.
3. So I did have the Fenway Park style wiffle ball field, which I just gave in detail before he finished concluding and gave that away. So number 2 is true. Number 1 was on a duck boat, which I didn't choose this, but I absolutely said yes. Media can ride in the Patriots parade in 2018, and I was in the Celtics parade right before the players and coaches and Chris Forsberg and Mike Gorman are all on those. I was not in a duck boat the second time. No Patriot has 2 rings. No active Celtics, Red Sox, or Bruins player has 2 rings. No 2 parades in Boston.
Oh, player.
Or Bruins player.
Therefore,
Drew's got 2 stats, baby, but only 1 lie, maybe. 2 stats, 1 lie.
So you duped me.
I said player. He's doing the Hardy thing in Hardy C. He's like, oh, well, technically it was this. I wasn't actually wrong.
Trust me, this is a Joe problem. This is not a you problem.
It's a Hardy chair problem is the way I see it because he's...
No, it's a Joe problem.
Okay.
If Hardy does it, I think he just doesn't want to lose.
So I said it twice and then repeated it one more time. Active player. That to me, I was like, that might tip, and it did tip him off.
It threw me off the smell.
That's right. It wasn't smelly enough.
So you have not ever done a
I spoke at my own high school graduation, and they added me back to be the commencement speaker. That is speaking about things on YouTube that are probably oversold in the headline. Back in 2019, Yo Smith. So spoken at 2, not 3.
There you go.
All right.
Well, you're going to have a chance to redeem yourself because we're going to do another version of this coming up.
Not every dog has the right scent.
And now you know more about your co-host.
I do. Do you know that if the Bruins won the Stanley Cup, I made a Lord Murray's cup.
Oh.
Out of tin foil.
Wait, did you take a photo of that in the old building?
Yeah,
I remember that.
I made that. I still have it.
I remember that.
It got thrown in the trash, but
Boo.
And let's just say a lot can happen when you smoke weed and are around Tupperware and tinfoil. But Lord Murray's cup, if I would have been on
it like American Pie 5? Like what happened?
Yeah, pretty much. But no, if they won, I would have been able to bring the Lord Murray's cup on the boat. But guess what happened? They lost in the Game 7.
Can you bring it in? Has it ever been in here?
I can show you photos.
Yeah.
Oh, I had the whole Adam. I probably have a photo of you in front of it.
You probably do.
I had everyone sign it. This was the old building, Dorchester. I don't know if you ever.
Went there twice.
Oh, okay then. Yes, but it got thrown in the trash, and then I recycled it, and now it is in my collectibles area of my basement with a lot of wrestling figures. A lot. You know what? What do you got going on now?
We are going to take a quick break, and we're going to come up with another edition.
Regular Two Stats.
The regular, the OG version of Two Stats One. Okay.
All right. Well, this hour of the sports has been brought to you by Boston Pro Therapy. Don't let joint pain keep you off the court, course, or trail. Eliminate that pain with Dr. Franke of Boston Pro Therapy. We got more with Andrew Callahan coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Red Sox, well, they lost the nightcap last night. That's what you need to know, even though they did win the first one 5-3. But the Reds won again. The 1975 team that won a World Series, well, they won the night game. DeAndre Ayton's going to the Lakers, everybody. How do you feel about that? Damian Lillard, an option for the Celtics. Headlines are brought to you by DN Van Lines. Take the chance out of your move and make the sure bet with DN Van Lines, an approved mover of the Department of Defense, DNVanLines.com. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update soon.
New England plays here.
Down the right side, it's a separation. Touchdown pass. Yes. Perfect dive from Drake May.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Hey, listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub.
Which brings me, though, to my two stats and a lot. Two of these stats are obviously the truth. One is
I got a
best
couple.
two.
And it's just,
Yeah.
I wanted to just, fact that you were right.
Journalists, we fact check. I might not have read it correctly, but
No, you checked me. We're good. What's this one? This is a real one now, not about you.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what I know about Andrew Callahan. Quickly,
go.
He's from Connecticut. Went to UConn. You used to write for Mass Live, is that correct?
Yeah.
And now you're at the Herald, and you cover multiple sports when asked to.
Yep.
You do NBC Sports Boston. You do CLNS podcast. I don't know where you live now. Do you like lobster rolls?
They're okay.
What is Connecticut style?
I'm not a big seafood guy.
Okay.
So this is where if you were like, hey, we got to do a food segment, I'm like, great, we'll do anything but seafood.
Okay. What about New Haven pizza?
Overrated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not a Pepe's guy.
Not
huh?
a homer for Connecticut, which I would rank. I can't put it last in the 6 New England states. This is how I killed time. And even on Twitter with a large debate about how you would rank them. Massachusetts 1, Maine 2. The rest is just a bleep show. But Connecticut is 5 at the highest. So I'm not going to just stand for my state because half of it wants to be in New York.
Right.
The other half is cool. That's where I'm from.
I partied up at Rocky Hill one time.
They had parties at Rocky Hill.
Oh, yeah. Did a New Year's there once.
How'd it go?
Snowstorm. Got snowed in. Had a party all night. Had to shovel it all out. It was horrible.
How many people have good New Year's stories? This is the most overrated holiday that we all talk ourselves into. And then you turn 23 and you're like, this kind of sucks.
Yep.
I used to go to the Winter Classic. That was cool. I don't think they're going to do that anymore.
That's a good New Year's.
Oh, no, they'll do it, but in Florida.
There you go.
Oh, no.
So I watched that, and what it does is I see you can feel it.
No.
But it's supposed to just adjust your back and avoid surgery. But the people who feel better about it, it makes me feel better. And I think that's why I've been watching.
The first 5 seconds of those video, though, they're like gasping for air. Like you're about to drown, and you just got to the surface at the last second, like in any movie ever. And you're just writhing. Oh, I can't
see. It's in your algorithm too. You've seen it.
Oh, I've seen it. That For You tab, man, on Twitter is just decaying by the day.
I'm not a TikToker, but I love TikTok.
So you just don't make them. You just consume. You don't create.
No, I create like this content.
Okay, so you're TikTok.
Or I'll be like, look at this lobster roll. It's hot butter.
You had your breakfast sandwich on there the other day.
I did.
I
did and I ate the whole thing on.
You had your 89 Tops wax pack.
I did that
Junkers.
too.
You put that on there too. That was good.
Yesterday I went to a. Well, we can talk about that later.
Ready?
All right, two stats, one line.
Yeah, this isn't sponsored.
Buddy has
Run up the
just
clock.
one line.
It is available.
Drew has 2 stats.
It was sponsored briefly.
Buddy has just one line.
There we go.
All right, regular edition, 2 stats and a lie. Offseason means we're not sticking with the Patriots. We're going to bounce around Boston sports right now. Number 1, since being traded to the Giants, Rafael Devers has more strikeouts than any combination of 2 Red Sox players since he left the team. Number 1, since being traded to the Giants, Rafael Devers has more strikeouts on his own than any combination of 2 Red Sox players since he left the team. Number 2, Stephon Diggs has more career receiving yards than all other Patriots wide receivers combined. Number 2, Stephon Diggs has more career receiving yards than all other Patriots wide receivers combined. Number 3, after losing Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, and Luke Kornet, the Celtics still have the most expensive roster in the NBA. After losing Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, and Luke Kornet, the Celtics still have the most expensive roster in the NBA.
I got 3 truths, so I need to hear them again.
Yeah, run them down again. I think I have an idea, but I would like to hear them again as well, please.
Number 1, since being traded to the Giants, Rafael Devers has more strikeouts than any combination of 2 Red Sox players since he left the team. So since he's been a Giant, he has more strikeouts. Pick any 2 Red Sox, they have fewer strikeouts than he does. Number 2, Stephon Diggs has more career receiving yards than all other Patriot wide receivers combined. After losing Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, and Luke Kornet, the Celtics still have the most expensive roster in the NBA.
All right, 2 and 3 are true.
So you're going with 1 is the lie.
I do know that Devers is struggling, so
Yeah.
it's I'm a little. I didn't do the math. I do think the Celtics have the highest payroll. They're in the second apron.
Yeah.
How many teams are in the second apron?
Yep.
So I'm talking this out a little bit here.
Yeah, no, that's good. This is what we do.
Does Stephon Diggs? Well, I can tell you that in 8 games last year, Stephon Diggs did more in 8 games than all the Patriots did in 17 games. So I'm assuming that he has more. So that could be the lie.
Now he's in Fred's chair.
Yeah. Do you want to hear me reason it out
please,
and then
please.
make your call? Okay,
Yeah.
So Devers has been a disaster since being traded. So that makes me that one sniff test, Joe Murray, smells right. Doesn't smell stinky. That first one. So I'm thinking that's a stat. That first
Smelly.
What you said about Stephon Diggs, and again, that one just the way it kind of when you say it, you think it through the way it rolls off the tongue. Yeah, that makes sense that he would have.
You say receivers, like do tight ends?
Read number 2 one more time, please.
Pass catchers.
Stephon Diggs.
I mean, they're trying to get under these aprons, and they're shedding all this salary and all that. And the first thought that I had was, but look at the SGA deal that was earlier this week. So it made me think maybe the Thunder is now skyrocketing up past the Celtics, and they're going to be dealing with apron problems. But then I started to think about the rest of their roster and how it's probably not that expensive because he's their only supermax guy, right? Right. So, but then this is why I'm going to go with number 3 as the lie. Read number 3 again, please, Andrew.
After losing Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, and Luke Kornet, the Celtics still have the most expensive roster in the NBA.
Okay. I can't remember which team it was, but it kind of doesn't matter. I was listening to the station. Maybe it was yesterday, maybe it was the day before, and it was probably Felger and Mass, and they were talking about the Celtics and spending toward the apron and all that, and they either gave the Warriors or the Lakers as an example of like they blow through the aprons every single year and they just pay.
Even Milwaukee,
they just pay. They don't care. They want to pay these players and they want to put a competitive team out every year, and the taxes and the aprons be damned. So that's why it makes me think that one of those 2 teams is probably surpassing the Celtics. So that's why I'm going to say that number 3 is the lie.
Well, I'm going to put I like to put my money where my mouth is.
Are we putting stakes on this now?
Well, no, but I'd like to bet on baby races and stuff like that.
So 12, you're going with number 3.
I'm going with number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, number 3, and that was kind of my reasoning through it.
I want to go with 3, but I don't know why. It's not.
Yeah, not smelly enough for you. Give it one more whiff. Okay.
I'm gonna go Devers.
Okay.
Devers number 1.
Okay.
Because the Red Sox strike out a lot.
Okay.
They do. Okay.
And I know that he sucks.
So
strikes out a lot.
So,
but it could be the lie.
Joe's number 1 for the lie. I'm number 3 for the lie. We've locked in our choices, Andrew Callahan.
Adam 12 had the first. Joe Murray wins the second one.
Hey!
Number 1 was the lie.
2 stats. Andrew's got 2 stats. But he's got 1 lie. But he's got 1 lie. Andrew's got 2 stats. Andrew's got 2 stats. But he's got 1 lie. But he's got 1 lie.
So good.
Wow, Joe Murray, well done.
So Joe Murray, well done. This was prompted, by the way. I had to edit this morning because it was dropped in Slack by you, Joe Murray, at 12:41 a.m. So you have not slept whatsoever.
Oh, I was up late last night. I even
scrolling.
wrote, "Hey, I'm just writing this stuff down
Yeah,
so I have
I'm
it
just
for
leaving
later."
notes, talking to myself for tomorrow. No response. Everyone left you on red. 12:41, you drop a tweet from Bob Nightingale that again threw me for a loop at 4:30. Devers has struck out 24 times in 55 at-bats since being traded. He's hitting 200, only 5 extra base hits. When you look at the Red Sox over the last 16 days, you could have any combination of Trevor Story and Roman Anthony, Jarren Duran and Roman Anthony, Jarren Duran and Trevor Story, Wilyer Abreu in there as well. Those combinations have more strikeouts than Rafael Devers. But, man, it is close. And I have to imagine Craig Breslow tells himself that every night before bed, because I don't know how else he would explain the Devers trade, which, by the way, is going to go for a lot longer than the last 16, 17 days.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs has more than 2,000 yards to his career than the rest of the Patriots wide receivers.
But they're gonna mess with him with his what's it called? Their physical. By the way, do we know anything on that? Like, has he had a physical? When is that physical?
All players take a physical the day before the first training camp practice, and they do the conditioning test.
So the 22nd?
Yes, he could report earlier if he wants, but that's when veterans are scheduled to report.
Mm-hmm.
That's the day to circle him.
So I should circle the 22nd.
Circle the 22nd.
Thank you.
And then come on down. First training camp practice.
Yep. I'll
Andrew Callahan, 34th birthday party. It's going to be on the hill. It's going to be wild.
34, huh?
34, yeah.
Look at that. He's turning Big Poppy.
Big Poppy.
Good for you, bro.
In my Big Poppy era. And then, according to Spot Track, right now, the active roster, the money spent on the players currently on the team, the Celtics, $230 million. Next up, Cleveland at $214. Behind them, Phoenix. The Suns at $206 million. This is for 25-26 season, according to Spot Track. And the funny thing is, though, 12.
Yeah.
The total cap allocations, which I think means dead cap, other money spent elsewhere, they're just behind the Warriors.
Okay, so maybe that's what I was.
$265 million.
Maybe that's what I was hearing.
Yes, and it doesn't include tax money.
No,
it doesn't
of
include
course.
repeater tax. All that stuff.
I'm still. I'm still happy with the choice that I made. I think using the information that was available to me, even though I did a lousy job of paying attention to it, I'm still happy with the choice.
Joe Murray narrowly avoided the Fred, which I'm really proud of him for, because he had it first. He started talking himself out of it.
Andrew, he was on the precipice. He was on the precipice. He stood. He looked over the edge into the Fred Toucher. I've overthought this abyss, and he said, "No, I'm stepping back. I am not Fred Toucher. I am Joe Murray. I'm stepping back. I'm stepping away from the buffet so I can take a break.
Yes,
and then come back later."
Just while we're at it, how do you feel about time limits at buffets?
Like when you're in line?
All you can eat buffets.
No, like how long you're allowed to eat there.
Oh.
That's what we were talking about earlier this week.
Bogus.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're out on this.
I went.
It's all you can eat.
I went to the Caesars.
Challenge accepted.
Went to Caesars Palace for Easter Sunday. I was out there for WrestleMania, Vegas. It was the greatest buffet I've ever been to. But they gave me a 90-minute time limit.
Huh.
And I like to unwind.
Graze.
Multiple plates, I like to just look sometimes. I'm a gazer.
Window shopper.
Yes. And then when I saw that they had crepes with banana and with cream, I said, "Hey, can I try one of those?" So I waited for them. But I have to wait for them to make it too,
Yeah, for crepe, yeah.
And it was fantastic. But I didn't do mimosas or anything because I had to go to an event. But I will tell you, though, I felt rushed.
So I believe you felt rushed. I can't imagine that personally. But I also think if you're going to offer all you can eat, that means one thing. I eat as much as I can. And as much as I can doesn't have a time limit on it. I think that's bogus.
I think part of it too, Joe, is the when you think of a buffet, right? You think of kind of the overindulgence of the gluttonous culture of American food culture, and you think of the average approach of the average person at a buffet is actually the opposite of what you do. Is they're running in there and they're filling plates and they're scarfing down food as fast as they can because they want to get their money's worth, and that's why they've got time limits in, right? But your approach, I almost want like a Joe Murray's buffet chain of like high end, take your time dining experiences that kind of go. They're a counter because what any good branding, right? If you're going to go up against something that people know and love, you got to come up with a different angle that's gonna appeal to them and give them a different experience. And I think you might be onto something.
I will tell you, the Bacchanal, though, it was the best brunch buffet I've ever been to. I just wish I didn't have 90 minutes.
Right.
I have not been to a buffet since freshman year of high school. This girl I was seeing in her family. And the dad who was openly racist, just not a good guy. The meal ends.
Sounds like you have some angst.
This is why I've not been back. He goes, by the way, I've been shaking my boots the entire car ride in his giant truck because, of course, he had one. He goes, this is what we call chew. It's screw.
Oh, no.
Get out of here.
No. I can't. No.
So I left my wallet on the seat. We walk out the door. Mind you, he's got a girl who's in high school my age, younger daughter who's 6, this slur, that, they're doing this, whatever. I go, oh, I left my wallet behind. Whatever $6 I had from mowing the lawn, cleaning the house, left it on the table, all of my shame and trauma, and said, I can never come back.
You're not a criminal.
Yes.
No.
You're a decent person.
That guy sucked.
Let's bookmark this.
I could have peed myself. And then we picked up a friend of mine who wasn't there because we were all going to her house hanging out. Whatever.
He was talking to the girl about her dad later on, and he was like,
Come on, girl!
yeah. Like, what's up with your dad?
Now listen, I could do a 5 call says it all, but I'm not going to. But dine and dash is a thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
I just think that it's very, very, very Bush League.
It's terrible.
It's BS.
Sinful.
It is.
Out on Dine and Dash.
So I will not admit if I've ever done that or not. I will not admit that. But it is a terrible thing, especially from a father.
There are a lot of more comments I omitted in the telling of that story that builds up to the worst moment. But that was the worst moment. We can skip everything he said, all the signs he denied from our freshman teacher on the way down. Not a great time.
Do you know this is the first time I've ever seen him rattled?
I tell you, I've not been back.
I've never seen Andrew Callahan rattled. He wants the smoke. He didn't want that one.
No. They had like 8 German Shepherds. Things did not get better when we got to her house.
Well, all right. Well, we could learn more about this if you want, but you know what? Mind if I just do a little buffet of sports takes on other things?
Yes. Love. This isn't already a bit on the Joe Show?
The opening take was a buffet that I don't know. You know what?
What? This is the first time I've seen you depressed. What happened?
No, I
defeated.
No, it should be a sponsored segment. You're right. I fought hard for it, but it hasn't happened.
Hardworking man.
That was me sighing about how it didn't work. But I've
lamenting.
tried. Lamenting.
Yep.
That's a good word. All right, well, we'll lay it again. It's July 3rd. This July 3rd needs like a Festivus name. It needs like a name. This is a holiday. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub. I have 6 questions for you to do in 10 minutes.
Let's go. Let's go.
Could be 5, but.
Let's go.
All right, number 1. What did you think of the Bruins free agency period?
Ugh. Uninspiring. It's a team that knows it needs a bump. I think you set the record for longest coaching search in modern NHL history. And then you go sign a bunch of bottom 6 guys for a fan base that has looked and said, you need scoring. Fix your scoring. We need more goal scoring. And I don't think, say what you will about the draft pick, the free agency had to be underwhelming.
What are your thoughts on local kids being drafted by the Bruins?
I don't know enough about the Bruins to have a significant real take on this in their draft history. What I will say is, if that's true, if there is an inherent bias to taking kids from Boston because they're from Boston as opposed to playing in a great conference, it's one of the stupider things I've heard in a long time. But I don't know that it's true. And you could make the case like, oh, they're from here and they're tougher. They play against good competition,
Charlie
whatever.
Coyle,
yeah, it's never been easier
Wagner.
to scout talent around the world. You've got access to video and airline miles and all this different stuff that you could do. If you're just going around the corner, of course it's stupid. Do I know that's true, though? Have I asked them about it? No. It seems like a silly thing to get very worked up about, though, I will say, categorically.
Okay. The Celtics have made the playoffs every year but the 2013-14 season since the Big Three era. Has the era been a failure or a success?
So the Tatum-Brown era? So that's going back to when Tatum was drafted in 18, maybe 17. So far, it's been a success. You got a championship. And it's half over. Yeah.
And potentially wasting multiple years of their prime now.
Well, and Achilles tear will do that, yeah. I also don't think he should come back at all.
So you think one championship is
Championships
a
are hard, man. And I think we need to – it's harder for us in Boston to understand that. It's not a matter of lowering your standards. It's understanding the reality of everything that goes into it because Tatum was what for the longest time? First team All-NBA, probably the 5th best player. But the thing you could always argue for him against guys like Luka, against guys, Anthony Davis, is he was more durable. Okay, well, the most durable player in the NBA just snapped his Achilles. There's luck, there's health, there's all these different things to line up, and now you're contending with the apron. Yeah, I could understand if people feel disappointed. You get a title, titles are forever. That's the whole reason why we do this. They got one.
So, successful era.
So far, yeah.
Despite losing at your final.
Losing in the final sucks.
Okay, how about, I'll add another one.
Yeah.
Were the Bruins a successful era? The Bergeron
Okay,
era.
when's the start to the end?
Bergeron era.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would be more disappointing if the Celtics only end with one, very light amount of disappointment, than the Bruins did, only winning one and going to another cup.
So I feel the Bruins
2 cups,
is a fail.
Okay.
You've made it. They made it to what, 3?
3, yeah.
1-1.
Lost 2.
There were teams that won multiples. Chicago 3. Pittsburgh a couple 3.
Mm-hmm.
Kings. The Bruins aren't in that category.
No. Did they was their best player at his peak as good as, your Sidney Crosby's quick at his peak? And it's a different conversation, obviously, goal scorers versus goalie. You know what I mean?
Bruins might have been deeper than those teams.
They certainly were.
They might have had a better goaltender than Chicago for sure. Tampa Bay, probably not.
But I don't know, and when I say I don't know, I mean that in the purest form of I don't know, how much that matters now in the NHL.
Oh, goaltending doesn't matter?
No. What I'm talking about, the depth. Like, they were deeper. You should have won. Like, I think that helps you survive along the way, but you also saw the best regular season team ever in hockey lose in the first round because their best players were on par and played better.
All right, we can bookmark that one.
Yeah.
I think that's worth a discussion. Again. Damian Lillard.
I like this one.
He's available because the Bucks are paying him. Is that value for the Celtics, or is it another guy that would come in here and maybe disrupt what Tatum and Brown do?
I don't want anything to do with Dame Lillard. I think Dame Lillard is a badass. We were talking about this before, off air, which is always like the most useless comment. Oh, cool, guys. This is a radio show. You're supposed to talk into the mics when they're on. But the point is, he's got not just one shot to end a series in the NBA playoffs. Goodbye. Walk off into your offseason. Go to Cancun. See you later. I'm going to keep playing. He's got 2 of those shots. The thing is, he's going to miss next season just as Tatum is, or come back for scraps of April, May, whatever. When he is fully healthy, he will still be a small guard who is atrocious on defense, who is old. And right now, you're going to have that player already on board in Anthony Simons. So even if Simons is gone because his contract expires after next year, I don't want the worst version of that coming in to replace him.
I agree. I think he's only being talked about because he makes no money.
Well, and he got waived. That's the starting point. This is not the Crafts keeping Patricia and Joe Judge because the Giants, the Lions were still paying them. That happens. But Dame Lillard getting stretched out, I'll also say you could argue was a mistake by the Bucks.
Oh, they traded Drew Holiday. Tell me that wasn't stupid. That was stupid. They gave the Celtics a championship. Stupid franchise. Stupid. Losers.
Recent champions, but losers. 2021 champions, but losers. See, that's Giannis. Who cares about Bucks talk? It's July 3rd. Your bosses aren't
losers.
Is that a successful era if it's just it? Because he's not getting another one in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a success.
Yeah, you know why?
He got one.
Because it's Milwaukee.
Because it's Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're doing the standards thing.
I'm not doing anything, but you do something in Milwaukee, I think it should be praised. They also were an underdog in that championship game. Suns, right?
Against the Suns.
Suns are favorites.
Underrated finals, by the way. Really enjoyed that. Not just because we were all coming out of COVID and be like, oh, sports again, I missed you so much. But I absolutely was doing that at home. Underrated finals. The Bucks screwed up. You're in a crappy situation. You just took a crap and left it there by stretching Dame Lillard over 2 years. Cool, you got Miles Turner. Awesome. You know where you're going to be? Right where you would have been with Brooke Lopez.
Yeah.
Walker.
I don't know if I'm listening to what the Bucks do and they say, oh, yeah, they know what they're doing over there. Not me. How did the recent NFL trade of Minka Fitzpatrick and Jalen Ramsey impact the Patriots season?
It didn't.
They play them both?
I know. Minka Fitzpatrick, I think he's had 1 pick in the last 2 years. Jalen Ramsey has now been traded several times in the back end of his career. You're going to see them both week 2 with Ramsey, week 3. Jonnu Smith, I think, was also involved there.
Jonnu.
So you'll see him as just another reminder of Bill gave that guy how much money? 3rd highest paid tight end in NFL history at the time. Maybe still is. I don't know.
Pretty decent everywhere else he's been.
And had a touchdown last year for Miami. A little bit of matchup issue. And reunites with Arthur Smith in the Steelers, by the way. So for you fantasy sickos out there, you're in your 16-teamers and looking for a tight end 3 or flex 4. Jonnu Smith's not a bad option.
Just so you know, there's not a lot of NFL stuff going on, so I'm reaching on trying to localize.
No, I totally get you. I'm not bashing the question.
No, it doesn't impact the Patriots at all.
Yeah, I think both teams go, we're underwhelmed. Why don't we just swap problems, even if they're small problems?
Who will be the next Red Sox manager?
Great question. Does Jason Varitek want the job? He's already here. And for ownership that I think increasingly is probably looking for public wins, right? You hit the nostalgia button, hit the smart guy button.
I don't know. His
mindset.
Wife says on social media he doesn't want to do it.
Money talks, though. You know that. Joe Murray knows that.
I'll never forget that Jason Varitek listened to Scott Boras and had an option for a $48 million contract and settled on less than $10 million for a 1-year deal. That was not in his best interest. So you might be right. He might want to recoup some of that money. Wonder if Scott Boras is still his agent.
Who do you think is the next manager?
I think Alex Cora becomes the general manager. I want Carlos Beltran.
We're just going to keep... Well, I don't know. That's not fair to cycle through all the cheating Astros.
I think he was a good manager. He got fired because of what happened, but...
Yeah.
Ramon Vasquez has at least shown in the games wherever Cora gets ejected or doesn't show up.
Does a fine job.
He does a fine job, so he's probably the next guy in waiting.
I think that's fair.
Sam Fold is probably interviewed 55 times, so maybe he's still on the list.
I'm not quite at the McCarthy level of fire Alex Cora in your next breath, just in perpetuity, culture problem, all this different stuff. But I've soured on him more than I probably ever expected.
He can't manage this group. No, in his defense, they're not ready. I'll use
a veteran's manager.
Yeah, he's a Doc Rivers.
Yeah, he's not a developmental
Go into a good
coach.
situation and try to win.
Right.
He's not this guy.
Which takes a certain skill set, by the way. This is not to dismiss, it's so easy to coach a bunch of guys who know they're great, have big egos, and you got to bat someone seventh and explain it to him. He can do that, I think. But for what they need right now, it's clearly a bridge year. It doesn't seem to be a good fit.
All right, bonus question.
Jackass bonus question. Do I have to be big and loud on this one?
Yep.
Okay.
Favorite fast food chain?
Does Chipotle count?
Sure.
Okay, Chipotle far and away. I'm a Chipotle sucker. There's a Hall of Fame. I at least want like the secondary committee to consider me one day.
So if you go up to the window, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm very particular about what I get. If I'm getting a bowl, it's rice.
Mm-hmm.
I like the new honey chicken.
Yeah,
A little
Chipotle honey,
spice on
yeah.
it. It's great. It's fantastic.
Sweet and spicy, baby.
It's very good. And then cheese. I don't like the lettuce guac. I'm out on lettuce. I don't know if you've ever heard.
Do you have protein?
I get chicken or beef or
I heard rice and then cheese.
Oh yeah, rice, chicken, or cheese, or beef or cheese or whatever.
I just like the quesadilla, but instead of the carbs being wrapping it, they're just sprinkled in little pieces, and that's it.
They always say to me, "That's all you want." I go, I don't eat lettuce. It's not that I've tried. I don't do salad. I know, fat guy doesn't eat salad. Make your jokes. I can't eat lettuce. I can't. I don't want tomatoes. I don't want your garnish.
Caesar salad.
Out. So yes, when I go to the window and I say, rice, chicken, cheese.
You're pointing,
yes.
which I feel like you must do.
And then I go, can I get more since I'm not getting the rest? And they say thank, and they give me another scoop. I don't want to talk about salad. I don't. So I was curious what your order is.
So first of all, Joe, I've loved doing the show with you. I think we're really getting along here. I've never loved anything more than the last 90 seconds you started talking, because I know at least my mom is listening. My wife might have checked out. You make me look like the most advanced, mature, developed eater, because I'm a picky guy. And my order goes rice, no beans, chicken, 1 scoops down. Oh, actually, can I do double chicken? Because then the double has to be literally another amount of whatever they scoop me.
Mm-hmm.
Not double chicken, 1 scoop, and then a little second one. Okay?
I do the double point.
Double point. Not a pointer. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
You actually say double chicken.
I say chicken. Actually, can I do double?
Ooh.
The pause is key, because, again, that locks in the second full scoop.
I like that.
Medium and mild salsa.
I love the salsa. Yep.
It's just pico and salsa verde. And then cheese. And that's it.
We might. Wow.
So
I could eat that.
No salad. No guac. Queso if I'm feeling particularly good.
It's a good segment right there.
Scoop with the chips, by the way, which I don't do very often. Throw out the spoon or the fork. Chips right to your mouth. You got to try this on the way out. I might just sit in the parking lot for 45 minutes right across the street. See you there.
They see me come in. Oh, I know. Trust me, they know.
They point back at you. Just, there he is. The two-handed pointer.
Well, I walk in and I give like, I'm like, the NWO walking
Pollo,
in.
arroz, queso, Joe. Queso Joe.
Here's the question, though, Andrew Callahan.
Yes.
How many of those could you eat in 10 minutes?
2.5, because I've done it.
I've done 2 burritos in a row before, but I can't move after. And these are fat burritos, too.
And we're both bowl guys, though, because you get the burrito and like that extra.
They give you more. You might as well get the bowl, because you're not eating the bread, and you get more.
It just sits. It's so heavy.
I'm looking at my list here. I don't think I have burritos on our competitive eaters, but I definitely have some more.
I'd like to revisit that
menu items. Yes, yeah.
Can we revisit that?
We should do that.
And just real quick, we have something. We have a lever to pull if we need. Fast food chains is one of the reasons why there was a list that just came out.
We're talking Chipotle, and I know we're up against it. Danny Ainge supposedly had a Chipotle gold card.
Yeah, the gold card.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, yep. I think about that more than a lot of more important things in my life.
Do you know that Rafael Devers loved ice cream?
Oh, I thought he was Chipotle too.
Was it a Chipotle thing?
Yeah, Corey used to incentivize him in 2018.
If he did better defense, they give him Chipotle gift cards. That was a true story?
Yeah.
Oh, I actually thought it was like made
Phenomenal.
up. I also heard it was ice cream too. So he likes Chipotle and ice cream?
It's not bad.
Okay. All right, let's get to the headline here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Essential Sports.
Man, that Chipotle honey barbecue chicken you were just talking about is really, it's got that good spice at the end.
Lunch cannot get here soon enough. One note on the Chipotle, because we left this off with Rafael Devers, who in 2018 was incentivized by his manager, Alex Cora, to hit opposite field home runs and take walks. Because every time he hit an opposite field home run, Cora got him a $100 gift certificate to Chipotle. Walks were worth $50. Every walk, $50. Here's the card. Here you go. And I know this courtesy of one of the hardest working beat writers, regardless of sports, in Boston, Chris Smith of Mass Live.
Smitty.
Who also leads the league. And I would tell this to him. And I love Chris. The longest headlines possible. This is the story I pulled up. First one I saw about Devers and Chipotle. Boston Red Sox is Rafael Devers. Not eating at Chipotle as much anymore, comma. Makes time to call mom twice a day, comma. Loves fatherhood. That's a whole headline. That's a paragraph. That's multiple sentences, and it's all the headline.
Smitty.
When you talk about, if you are, he's been on the show before, right?
Smitty on baseball.
Tons of information. And that's where you can read the headline, as you do, and not read the story. If it's a Chris Smith story, you're fine.
I know you work at the Herald and formerly of Mass Live, but
Yeah.
I got to tell you, that Mass Live sports team is
Outstanding.
crushing it. It really is.
Karen left the Herald for Mass Live, and I love Karen. I owe so much to her, and she is still somehow so underrated in the city.
I'd love having her on at night.
Good.
She tells it like it is. All right, we have more.
But I was happy to see her go because they do a great job.
Absolutely. I'm just shouting everybody out. It's July 3rd. Maybe it's the shout-out day. More competitive eating, just so everybody knows, July 4th is the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. The greatest competitors in the world will meet tomorrow with one championship, one dream, one goal. And what else do we have, Adam 12?
Well, we have James Webb, who has quite a few records under his belt. These announcements are from last year's Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest, courtesy of the great George Shea.
He joined the circuit 2 years ago, and he is already ranked number 5 in the world. 6 Major League Eating wins in 6 months. 6 world records. Donuts.
All right. Right off the bat, this guy's taking down donuts and setting a new world record.
Man, how many can I pile in my belly?
That guy, by the way, is going to announce when the apocalypse is here.
I feel like these are all like, and Joe, you can speak more on this because you're a big fan of the Nathans. That's a 10-minute time limit, right?
Correct.
I feel like a lot of these are like it's 10 minutes because he doesn't mention the times. I think that's kind of seems to me to be the standard. If I'm wrong about that, obviously you can correct us. But that's I'm just putting you guys in the right headspace to be able to guess.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how many donuts could I shove? Some of them get stuck in there.
You getting double digits?
Donuts are a sneaky heavy food.
Did you ever see
dense?
The glaze though can be very, very light.
Yes,
very airy.
Did you ever see Tommy Boy when he goes, I got a little bit of a weight problem, like a couple of tails stuck right here. It was funny because I was thinking of Callahan stuff. People will go Callahan Tunnel. I was thinking of Callahan Auto Parts. I make car parts for the American working man.
Wow, that's a throwback, Joe.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
I haven't heard that in forever.
Callahan Auto Parts.
I still get occasionally. This is maybe once or twice a year. Like, oh, you're Jerry Callahan's son? No
relation.
We were
right?
no relation.
Hey,
nothing.
I work with a guy named Big Jim Murray.
Right,
your big brother,
and
obviously.
I'm Joe. So people think I am Big Jim. We're no relation.
No,
but we're cool.
Good.
We just are not the same guy.
How many donuts do you think Big Jim could throw down?
He's lengthy.
He is, and he likes to eat. Big Jim. He's a foodie.
I think I could take down 8 to 10 donuts. Me.
Okay.
So what could this guy do?
Yeah.
He's a professional.
Right. You
Double.
multiply
Probably.
that.
I'm going to say 30.
You're going to go 30?
Oh, 8 times 3, 25. Let's do 20.
Okay,
8 times 3,
25.
and I'm going to add the 1.
Okay.
I was thinking 24. I'll go up. I believe in him. 28.
Oh, hold on for a second. My buzzer's not working. Now it's working. Sorry, it's a buzzer. 70.
No.
70.
Are we talking like crullers?
James
or
Webb.
like
70 donuts.
I love myself a nice little glazed donut.
What?
70. 70. Not 17. 70. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Look it up. Oh, Joe, you mentioned earlier wings. You've done a wing contest before. He has the record in that.
Chicken wings.
That's a long bleep.
I'm going to say 175.
175 chicken wings.
Yeah.
175, Andrew
He's
Callahan.
got good guesses. 154.
154. 224 chicken wings.
I knew it was.
This guy came onto the scene last year like a lightning bolt, like a comet. You want to hear what else he's into?
Yeah.
Pounds of fudge.
How many pounds of fudge is this guy taking?
Wait, we can't gloss
James
over.
Webb.
That started with, you want to know what else this guy's into? And the next you hear he's bleeping X amount of pounds of fudge.
Dude, I don't even know. Seriously, I don't even want. I'm going to take 10. 10. I'm just going to say 10.
This guy sucks and beeps X amount of chicken wings.
10 pounds of fudge.
No, it's more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be something crazy.
21.
21. It's in between. It's 13 and a half pounds of fudge.
Where's my shortcake guy?
For James Webb.
Pounds or pounds?
And where's strawberry shortcake?
Yeah.
All right, let me give you guys one more of these competitive eaters, and I'm going to go to Gideon Oji, who has some interesting records.
He is the 8th archangel, Gideon the Exalted. 6 feet 9 inches tall, 7 feet from tip of wing to tip of wing. The undisputed eating champion.
So he is the undisputed bleep eating champion. Okay? Now, I'll give you. Now, that's obviously very, very wide.
Not
very
like what
wide.
Shooter McGavin eats for breakfast.
So
right?
I'm going to tell you that this. I'll give you the category. This is a vegetable. He is the undisputed heavyweight champion, if you will, of this particular vegetable.
Potato.
It's a good guess,
count,
but does that count as a vegetable?
I argue
though?
for that. I think as you probably do at the dinner table.
Yeah.
It's just starch.
Yeah.
Give me a
It's
break.
probably broccoli.
You're getting closer.
Asparagus. Pickles.
Closer still. Now you were hot. Now you're cold. Andrew Callahan. He's made some
cauliflower.
No, go back to the greens.
Cucumber.
Brussels sprouts.
This guy's big on kale.
Out
on kale? Yeah. Even if it's in the air fryer and seasoned, you get a little crispy kale.
Can we just
Raw kale's tough to throw down.
I'm out.
All right.
He eats. What, the last clip we had?
Yes.
It's still up.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But I have this. Hold on for a minute.
Of the world. Pounds of bologna.
How many pounds of bologna is Gideon Oji? 6'9".
46.
46 pounds.
Okay, no, I take it back.
It's a little high. It's a little high.
26.
20. It's still a little high. God. Joe Murray, make a guess. You full of baloney or what?
Now you know it's less than that.
No, we're not talking about you. You're still stuck on the kale. Which is
which one is
understandable. We're now trying to figure out how many pounds of bologna this guy's taking.
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross. But it is a form of a hot dog, right? So you said lower than your number?
Yeah. Much lower.
6? I don't know.
That's close. It's 2 pounds of bologna. But I mean, this guy.
Oh, they're gonna feed us some green poo.
I mean, that's just these guys are just eating and eating and eating. Yeah, just 2 pounds of bologna. I think
I
it's.
feel like I could eat a whole 2 pounds of turkey.
But remember that was
from
with
the store.
Spam too, though. Like that's really dense junk meat, and
No.
got a.
I've ordered a pound of honey turkey from.
I'm sorry.
And I can eat that. I could probably roll that up and eat it at once.
Yeah.
2 pounds. That's it. I can do that.
You should be.
Maybe it's a shorter. Maybe it's a shorter time.
Like a bologna. Like
minute.
you used to get the bologna in that circle little
I'm guessing
plastic
that's what
thing
it
as
is.
a
They
kid.
probably just throw that sucker out, weigh it, you tuck into it, and then they weigh it again, and they do the math.
I feel like that's weak.
Man up. 2 pounds of bologna.
Well, as you said, the Nathans is back this year, and Joey Chestnut will be involved once again. So.
Is he an American hero? And I say yes.
No.
I think he is in the way that he exemplifies one of America's most cherished characteristics. And
Did you see the way people supported him?
Yes.
When he was about to break the record, he was like,
no, he's a folk hero.
Okay, I shouldn't say American
folk hero.
Fine,
American
'cause I know
folk hero.
there
He's
are
up there
people-
with Johnny Appleseed.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Johnny Appleseed's rolling over in his Granny Smith grave.
He is a distant relative of mine.
Oh.
We share the same real last name, Johnny Appleseed and I. We're not actually related. We just have the same last name, and I like to make that joke because it makes my kids upset. We're not related to Johnny Appleseed. Sure we are. Same last name. Means we're related. Isn't that how that works? We should break. Sorry. Now I'm the one making us
hook,
late.
line, and sinker.
Now I'm making us late.
I'm just thinking about him being an American hero and those guys on the statue that are like pushing up the flag because it's 6 Marines and it's atop some mountain at the end of World War II. And then there's just Joey Chestnut trying to do the same with a hot dog, like trying to get it to stand. So.
You're right. You took the right approach, and I just took
the serious, unfun approach. Johnny Appleseed, though.
Johnny Appleseed. Have you ever played In or Out?
No.
You're going
I've
to.
heard. I'm ready.
We're going to do it next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Put a bang in your 4th of July from Fireworks Over the Border. The largest selection of 500-gram repeaters, reloadables, rockets, Roman candles, firecrackers, and more. Set your GPS for 443 Route 286 East Seabrook, New Hampshire. Check out Fireworks Over the Border at fireworksusa.com.
Be sure to enjoy the game in an ice-cold, refreshing Corona at the Great American Beer Hall on Mystic Avenue in Medford. Relax and enjoy the finer life of sports with Corona. La Playa awaits. Must be 21 plus. Relax responsibly.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
What's next? College? University? There's a world of great options after high school, but they come with a cost. Most of us can't save it all. None of us should borrow it all. But we can all look to MIFA, our Massachusetts Educational Financing Authority, for low-cost, fixed-interest rate loans with
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Red Sox split 2 yesterday. They won the suspended game 5-3, and then the nightcap lost 8-4. More errors, base running mistakes. But hey, they don't have to play today, but they'll play at 11 a.m. tomorrow on July 4th. Clayton Kershaw, 20th pitcher in Major League Baseball history with 3,000 strikeouts. And the Lakers, they got their big man, DeAndre Ayton. Headlines are brought to you by AutoFair. It's the summer of savings at AutoFair. Over 2,200 vehicles with great savings are available at autofair.com. Save big this summer at AutoFair. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here. 98.5. The Sports Hub.
You said you wanted to hear more music in the morning.
Never had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
Oh, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
All of it's all you can eat dining options to all you care to enjoy, because too many people took the former as a challenge. So are you in or out on rebranding the all-you-can-eat buffet?
Yes, because I think transparency is very big. And, I don't get a crepe often.
No.
But it was available to me.
And it was delicious.
With banana and whipped cream at 9 o'clock in the morning. I was in. So I do like the way that because like Andrew said, Andrew he's a writer. He likes to get things, make you think about it a little bit.
He's a wordsmith as well.
Wordsmith. Yeah. So I feel like the way that was worded is better than all you can eat.
Andrew, are you in or out on rebranding the name of the all-you-can-eat buffet?
Out! Do you think this is dissuading from the people who swagger into the all-you-can-eat buffets and are like, I can't wait to eat until I can't anymore, or Joe Murray style, poop myself? No.
And if you go to Revere Beach, Point of Pines.
That's where Bird is. Point of Pines, Point of Pines, absolutely.
Been there every year. It's a lot of street fireworks going on the beach, and it can be a little scary.
Okay, since you mentioned that, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I will. Okay, not street fireworks, but are you in or out on big fireworks displays? Like put on by the town or, whatever else.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Very expensive. I had a friend who used to go on the barges and set them off.
Yeah.
Especially
that's what they do in Wakefield. They put the barge out onto Lake Quannapowitt, Swampscott, same thing. Shoot them out. I'm out on it. I get it. It was a time and a place. I think it pisses people off. It pisses animals off. It's unnecessary.
Right. The only thing here is, real quick, I'm in on it.
Okay, you're in on it. I'm out
because
on it.
I grew up in Boston, so I could go on any hill and see the Boston fireworks.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I could see, another town. And what I was mentioning about Lynn is you can see from Winthrop to Revere to Swampscott to Marblehead from Amberger.
That's it.
Out on specialty.
Out on specialty. We want to keep it simple on the 4th of July. Okay. In or out on specialty burgers at your 4th of July cookout?
I'm in.
You're in?
I'm in. Yeah, first time.
50 people and that you make your own.
Yeah. Yeah, if you came to my house, I'm in charge. It's my grill. It's one of my favorite things about summer.
All right.
Okay.
Being behind
you are the grillman. You are in
yeah.
charge.
Yeah. I'll take requests, too. This is not like a DJ who doesn't pick up the phone.
Okay. In or out on potato salad?
Out.
Me too.
Out.
I looked it up. According to AI, the top 3 foods: hot dogs, hamburgers, potato salad.
Is that the Google AI, though?
Yeah, it is.
Can't trust it.
So we had a debate in a group chat with the homeboys. Do my hands useless?
Listen, I'm telling you, you can't. Hold on for a minute here. Let me just get this.
What's the name?
Sarge GPT is booting
This
up.
is what you don't need the AI. We have Sarge GPT.
Excellent.
Okay, so Sarge GPT.
Sarge GPT reporting for duty.
Okay, let's ask Sarge GPT. What do you want to ask him about? Potato salad? You want to ask him about mice? What did you want to ask Sarge GPT about?
Sarge GPT, do mice have hands?
Are you still there?
Yes.
Like Mean Gene Okerlund once said, you can't help the way you look.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sarge GPT. We appreciate that.
I've spoken this morning at 5:15. I spoke to Sarge. He's in Greece.
Oh, that's right, on his honeymoon.
Not sure why he wanted to text me at 5:15 today.
Different time.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what time it is. Maybe
it's
he
late,
thought I
it's
was
late in
up.
the day over there.
In or out.
Something about.
Texting someone on their honeymoon.
Oh, I don't want to bother anybody.
Out. I mean, if he texted you, that's different, but out.
Yeah, but there's no. You pick up the text. You're like, oh, this is the permission granted within the initiation of the text conversation. But if you something a little pressing, just totally out.
I don't want to bother anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
People have no problem bothering me.
Sure.
But I don't want to bother anybody.
Is that like in general? Like with regards to are you talking about like in general? Like in life?
General.
It's so funny. I'm the same way. Like I don't. If I'm texting you, it's for a reason.
Yes.
Right. If I'm calling you, it's for a reason.
Correct.
But I feel like not everybody takes that approach.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, like, hey man, sorry to bother you. Just want to know if you're coming in on Sunday or not. Yeah. No problem.
Sure. Yeah.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I walk on eggshells with everybody.
Yeah.
It's a big Joe problem I have.
Big Joe problems.
The one text that really gets me is there will be breaking news.
Oh.
And I have to write that. I have to text people. I have to confirm. I have to talk to other people within the Patriots or around the league and be like, what do you think of this? What happened? And try to write the story. And they're like, oh, my God. Did you believe Gerard Mayo got fired? Yes, I'm here. I'm in the stadium. I saw him tweet the same thing.
Yes.
And I understand people are excited or old roommates haven't seen me in a while. Maybe they just want a reason to chat. Not right now. You know I'm still somehow in 2025 in a deadline business with a newspaper that needs to be met and printed at a certain time. Do not text me.
It's a cool thing, though. I like that. I've got one more for you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, one more food, 4th of July related, in or out. There's a new summer food trend. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. My girlfriend was telling me about it the other night. Instead of a toasted marshmallow and melty chocolate surrounded by graham cracker situation, right? S'mores. People are taking Ritz crackers and sandwiching them around maybe a brie, maybe a slice of summer sausage, giving that a little toast in the oven or the air fryer, and they're calling it a savory s'more. Are you in or out on savory s'mores?
I need to think about it.
Yeah,
I'm
give that
out.
a thought.
I'm
You're out on savory s'mores?
I'm out. I've dipped my toes into the charcuterie trend.
Sure.
Whitney,
Okay.
any,
Out on
any
savory
copycat.
s'mores.
I feel like me and Andrew could go out to eat together.
I think you could too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I just to you like if you got a steak mashed, or how do you like it? You like potatoes?
Potatoes are.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would be your side if you got a steak dinner?
Give me corn on the cob, summer, green beans, and I would like some roasted red potatoes.
Okay. Any lobster mac and cheese or anything like that?
More just straight mac and cheese.
Nice.
Lobster, I just
Oh, yeah,
get very
you're
down the
not
middle.
out on seafood, yeah. Okay. No au gratin potato or anything like that?
I dabble.
Okay. What about like a jus? You like an jus?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
All right, never mind. Keep going.
I was gonna say you're stalling here, man.
Yeah,
we don't
yeah,
know
in
if
or
you're
out.
in or out on the
Savory
savory
s'more.
s'more, man.
Oh, you know what's funny? If I don't know what it is, I don't eat it.
Okay.
But if someone's like,
It's
hey,
good.
hey,
Life
hey,
advice.
Hey, you should try this. I think you'd like it. And if it looks like a Ritz cracker with something I would like, I'd eat it.
Okay.
So I'm out. But I don't knock it until I try it.
Okay, because I'm in on it because I've got the cheese and crackers and sausage and pepperoni plate. I'll toast that up a little bit just to see what it's like. Just to, like you said, give it a try.
If you have it, 12, I'm genuinely curious how you like it.
Okay, well, you know what? I will do that this weekend because I'm heading up to Maine, hanging out with my brother and my folks. My mom always puts out a nice plate of the cheese and crackers and the salty meats. So I will sample a savory s'more. I'll take a picture of it. I'll text you guys
I'm interested in that.
All right.
Yeah. One last thing, the pitch of, oh, you got to try this. It's good. I have a friend who does the opposite, and I think it's more compelling. You got to try this. It sucks.
Oh.
He's just like laughing,
It's
smiling.
terrible.
I suffered. You have to try this. It's so
This
bad.
tastes so bad.
And he just got
Smell this. It's awful.
Bleep-eating grin at his face, and I'm like, I can't tell you no.
Well, we could do more in our
Smelly.
routes, but we just don't have enough time.
No, you know what? We're gonna. Let me put it to you this way: we're gonna continue the food theme as we segue into the email
Yes.
bit next, because I actually got a nice message regarding something food related we were talking about on the show just yesterday, I
Okay.
believe.
And I would like to give a shout out. It was so good, I got to tell you. It was so good. But shout out to the Lobster Ladyland. We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston Sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, it's the email bit, which I don't want any emails, but guess what? I have emails.
We got emails, and we got posts, and we got all kinds of stuff, so we were able to do the email bit today, so that's good. Andrew Callahan gets a lot of emails.
Do you get
a lot of replies, a lot of response.
Yeah, I got some. I used some on my Devers column a couple of weeks ago. I think that was the last time I was in there. Not much after that. It's funny how many people who write in angry or tweet at you angrily. And I'm happy, like you were talking earlier, Joe. It's fine to disagree. That's why we're here. Conversation. Yeah. But then you take the time to calmly respond, hear the points. They're like, oh, I really appreciate you taking the time. I get that. Have a good day.
No,
like, just don't come in. It's 70, like 200 degrees.
You nailed it. If you people always say, why do you respond to those people? Because when I respond, they're normally like, hey, man, you're cool. They'll call you whatever. What I do, man, just because we don't agree. So, but now I've noticed, I said this last week, I'm not doing a victory lap. But it used to be people would hate my takes. Your takes suck. Okay, cool. Now it's all they can say is, you're fat, or like whatever. Right. I just feel like if that's happened.
That's a win.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's a win.
I have won.
Yep, you really have.
Won. You mean to tell me I don't know I'm fat?
Once it's reduced to that, then they don't have a take. They don't have an argument.
But the thing is like it's like the Eminem thing. What else can you say about me? So I feel like I have won. But you know what? It's come a long way, Andrew. It used to be your takes suck. Or, hey, your article really sucks.
Yeah, you're an idiot. There was one guy, I definitely read this email in the air, who was discounting my plan for the Patriots to add a receiver, which, of course, we've written that story 6 years in a row. And I was advocating against a trade at the time before their options ran out. And he was like, I have football IQ running through my veins.
Oh,
because I tried to do the nice thing. I was like, here's why. If you're in a trade, you're spending money on a player and giving up an asset. If you just sign Chris Godwin in free agency, which obviously didn't work out, you're only giving up money. You get to keep your picks or young players or whatever else you'd have to trade to Tampa or Seattle or whomever for DK Metcalf. And the nice response did not work out in this case. More often than not, they do. But, oh, my God. And I will also say this, Joe. I don't know if you're the same way, because some people have very strong feelings about the mute feature on Twitter. I mute a lot.
Oh, it's the best.
But the standard is, if you can prove to me in 280 characters, you're just being an a-hole. Like, if I pass you on the street and you do something that I'm like, I'm just going to ignore you because I'm passing you on the street, that's how I treat my mentions, you get muted. Anything less than that, if you have a question, if you're upset but we can talk about it, fine. But if you're just coming in hot and it's a step above, like, oh, you're fat or this and that, see ya.
I'm in on muting because
the
type of reply guy that, and it's always a guy, and it's always reply, and you look at his Twitter feed and it's all replies because he just has nothing better to do. It's all, and the mute, they want you to block them because they want to be able to say, I got blocked by so and so. Don't give them the pleasure. Mute. Let them scream. As my buddy Chad Finn once said, let them scream into the void.
Yeah,
because that's exactly what happens.
But some people go, and I don't know. I got an inkling Joe feels like this. If you block, you mute, you're soft.
Yeah, because then they'll be like, I won.
Stop.
Exactly.
But what do I care about them winning? You know, like that's the thing.
What do you care about their opinion and them calling you soft?
Yeah.
May I
I like the sidewalk test, though. If you could prove walking on the street you're crazy, I'm probably crossing the street or going right by you. If you can do that in 280 characters,
you're right.
I don't owe you any more time.
If I was in my 20s, I would be I'd be poking the guy on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I've learned in my 40s.
Older and wiser. Older and wiser.
Another thing is I've learned in my lifetime is don't break up a fight anymore.
No.
If a fight's going on, I know you might love them. Don't do it. You know why? Because you're going to get punched in the face.
Stray elbow.
And then, know what happens when that happens? now you're fighting them.
Right. Now you're not breaking up the fight. Now you are the fight.
So these are the things, since I've turned 40 years old, I'm out on altercation.
What was the last fight you broke up?
One night, two of my buddies randomly fought over like a Tostino's pizza rolls.
was going to say it's steak, and it's so much better.
That's great.
And it was like, it got physical because,
fantastic.
What?
Was there like one tiny pizza roll left, and they were both had an eye on?
somebody
Like,
was-
There's booze.
they both,
there.
of course, everybody was
crunked out of
hammered.
our
Yeah.
crunk juice.
Just imagining mom walks through the door with pizza rolls, and there's just this cartoonish cloud of arms and legs sticking out, rolling through the rest of the house.
Somebody bought one, but thought they opened theirs, but there was another one in the freezer.
Sure.
And it's just, I had to get in the middle of it, and then they started swinging, and they hit me, and then I started swinging, and then I just choked them both out.
Of course you did.
Then I ate the pizza rolls. Anyways, what do we have anything?
I've got something. So, Andrew, yesterday we played a game yesterday. You know, it was kind of poking fun at all of these Bruins free agency moves. We played a game called Boston Bruin or Ithaca Bomber.
Oh.
And Ryan Beaton had a list of the new Bruins players and some club hockey players from Ithaca College, where our intern Cece goes, and we ran them down and let everybody guess. And of course, because Joe Murray's hosting this week, the conversation inevitably steered in the direction of where do you eat when you're in the Ithaca College in the upstate New York area. And I got this note from Tess, who said, I can give upstate New York foods because I grew up in Syracuse, an hour north of Ithaca. And Joe Murray, this is specifically for you. Spidey's chicken kebab marinated in tangy herb sauce. Is that something you've heard about? A Spidey or a Speedy?
No.
That apparently is a big, upstate New York. Is this something that you've heard of? Cece's nodding her head saying yes. Hoffman hot dogs. They're another regional. Grandma Brown's baked beans. And salt potatoes, small potatoes, skin on, boiled in salty water.
Ooh, I like that.
That's a thing that, and she was saying Tess is like, these are like the staples of upstate New York cuisine.
Dinosaur barbecue must have come up yesterday.
It did, yeah. No, dinosaur barbecue, that's in here as well. Dinosaur barbecue, yes.
So, have you ever heard of them? People call it Connecticut style lobster roll.
No.
So, there's always the debate of what type of lobster roll you want, whether it's hot buttered or cold. It usually comes with mayo. Sometimes it has celery on. I'm out on the celery. But last night I went to the Legends Suite at the Fenway. Excuse me. My buddy Hooch invited me. Thank you, Hooch. And when we walked in, Carlton Fisk was there. And again, I just had the 75 anniversary take on that they're losers. And everybody goes, oh, I can't wait to see who you have there tonight. And I go, of course, Carlton Fisk is in here tonight.
Yeah.
He's 77, dude, and I think he'd still kick ass.
He's breaking up fights still. No doubt.
He's in great shape. I posted a photo at Joey Murr if you want to check a look at it. But I talked to him about three things. I talked to him about Good Will Hunting, about a girl, and he signed off on it. And who would have thought that that's still one of the biggest lines going, right? Obviously, for those who didn't watch Good Will Hunting, he missed the Game 6 of the World Series to see about a girl. I asked about Deion Sanders and the fight that he got in. I asked him about analytics in baseball. It was a lot, but we sat down and ate lobster rolls together. And one of the ladies that worked there, she was like, oh, are you Joe Murray from the SportsHub? And I go, I am. She goes, oh, well, why don't you go help yourself to some surf and turf? And I went, oh, where's that? So I showed Mr. Fisk where the surf and turf was. We ate dinner together. And I just want to thank the Lobster Ladyland who had the net on her head. And she's great. I think her name was Mary Ellen. But she put the butter with a little bit of olive oil in a pan, put the hot dog rolls down, let them toast, made with her hands the lobster roll, and then handed me a nice glazed lobster roll with steak and potatoes.
This is a meat cute.
I want Adam Sandler to be singing lobster roll, lobster roll here instead of sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe.
So Carlton Fisk was like, I don't get lobster like this everywhere I go. And, he's from New Hampshire, which I actually didn't know that. But long story short, end of the night, anybody else want a lobster roll? And I was like, no, I'm all set, whatever. I got a nice glazed bun from the lobster lady. And it was like, hey.
The kiss on the cheek, goodbye.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, my God, I'm going to eat another lobster roll here. So when I went home last night, I started thinking of Lobster Ladyland, Lunch Ladyland. And it was like it went so perfectly together that I thank you, the Legend Suite, for my lobster rolls and my steak and my potatoes last night. I would honestly give it a 9.9 out of 10.
Wow.
I don't give 10s.
So we were
Have
talking
you ever
about
given a 10?
No.
Never. Wow. You're waiting.
The Kowloon tangerine beef would probably get a 10.
Oh, wow. Wow, I can't believe you just brought that
And
up.
I did make a bingo board this week, and I think we got bingo because I have named everything that we could have talked about this week. I have.
Kowloon, Pooh,
Dom's.
Yep,
you name it.
Yeah.
I got a drink in and out. This is super popular. That's 4 or 5 years. Espresso martinis.
I'm in. Oh, yeah. Espresso martini's in. Now, I know that it's more of I would say more females drink it than anything. But, like, I love an espresso martini.
Super in. And I'll tell you this, very inside baseball. People like the radio drama. This is the lamest bit of Patriots beat current members and alums. We had a group chat, naturally talking about work stuff, Patriots related. Former member, Dakota Randall.
Oh, yeah.
Used to work in Nesson, probably been on the show. Great guy. He is the king of espresso martinis. Makes them at home, orders them everywhere. Starts sending pictures with ratings, locations, and restaurant names, where he got them from. That was 3 years ago. This Patriots chat with all the writers, some of whom have left, is still going. We have international pictures, including one guy in his honeymoon right now, Zach Cox, where we send pictures of the espresso martinis, the rating, the location, the city, the restaurant, and then a line or two down below.
Do you ever see how a beer you could make like little things in your beer, like on the foam on the top? You can do that with espresso martinis.
Oh yeah, you can do that with regular coffee, I think.
I know. I got a guy that you're big on espresso.
Espresso martini.
But I got a guy.
It's like the adult Red Bull vodka.
Atomic Coffee Black. They did our golf tournament this year.
Love Atomic Coffee.
They got a liqueur. I got a guy.
Sounds like we're going to eat and then we're going to drink.
So you just brought up espresso martinis. There was a big song of the summer last year, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
It was Sabrina Carpenter. And you just brought up, we can go to break into this as well. But we have Joe Espresso.
And now he's thinking about me every night. Oh, is that sweet?
We'll play this going into break. Final segment, Andrew Callahan after the headline here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Move it up, down, left, right, oh. Switch it up like Nintendo. So you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's that me espresso. I can't relate to desperation. My gives a F are on vacation. And I got this one boy, and he won't stop calling when they act this way. I know I got him. Too bad your ex don't do it for you. Walked in and dream came true to for you. Soft skin and I perfumed it for you. I know I Mountain Dew it for you. That morning coffee brewed it for you. One touch and I brand new it for you. And now he's thinking about me every night. Oh, that's sweet, I guess so. So you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's that me espresso. Move it up, down, left, right, oh. Switch it up like Nintendo. So you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's that me espresso.
Essentials.
Well, I know you grew up
Arch
near my
Travel.
area. I don't know which area.
Played at coached at Northeastern. Gino. Love Gino.
Really?
Yeah. Covered him a little bit when I was in college. And for the record, been in Boston 8 years. Family's from the North Shore. So a little mix here. But yeah, grew up in Connecticut, went to UConn. Gino, you went through all those generations. I understand it was easier to win as many titles as he did in the women's game because it was a younger sport, not as many teams as you'll find in the men's game. They won over 90 straight games. They won titles 4 years in a row and then 3 years in a row. Like, I don't think it's a question.
Okay. You mentioned something that happens that you dislike. There's some musings for a second here, but when I invite somebody to something, and the first thing they say is, "Who's going?" I'm out.
I hate that.
I despise that.
And I don't use that word. I really, really don't like that.
But like, hey, Adam, we're all going down to Carl's for steak tip subs. We'll be there about noon.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Who you say? Wait, who else is going? Who's coming along? No. Why would you ask?
I would leave you on red.
Yes. Why would you
I
ask
told
that
you
question?
I'm going there.
Yeah.
And what time? You don't need to know.
There are two types of people that act that way. One is the type of people that have beef with way too many people, and that's why they got to ask, because they got to make sure they're not. And why would you want to be around those people anyway? And the other one is, I need to maximize every second of my pleasure, every moment of the day. So I got to weigh this. Do I want to go hang out with this group of people, or do I want to do this thing instead? You want to steer clear of both of those types of people as much as you can, in my opinion.
Those second type of people had me thinking something else. Like maximizing pleasure every second of the day. Like, are they driving with one hand and busy with the other? Like, what's going on there? I would say there's a third type, though. If you have seriously miscalculated your closeness to that person, and they'd be fine in a one-on-one setting, three-person setting, not in a group setting.
That's good. That's fair. Yeah.
Which I think we've all been there. But yeah, I don't like that either, because I don't know.
I was invited to the Red Sox game. I did ask, where are we sitting?
That's different.
Yeah.
Because I'm a snob.
Well, that's akin to someone, 12. You're like, hey, do you want to come in and fill in? I'm like, oh, who am I working with? Or do I just want to do radio?
Well, I will tell you this. I've worked with everybody at the station. I will say Jim Louth does say, hey, you're going to work. Do you want to work with this or that? And I say, okay.
In or out?
No. Sometimes if for example,
I know, but it's like
he did ask me, hey, are you cool with working with Andrew Callahan? I go, I'd love to work with Andrew Callahan. So that's how this.
Well, thank you. Then
this happened.
It's been a blast.
You guys have been great, by the way.
Thank
really.
you.
Like, and I'm glad you brought that up, because there should put for those who weren't listening from the beginning on, or listening to the podcast or whatever, there should be a fine point put on the fact that this is your first time working together, your first time meeting each
other,
other,
being in the same
and you
room.
sat and did 4 hours of radio and made it compelling and interesting and engaging. So kudos.
I'm going to kiss your ass for a second here, Andrew. I think that.
I love this segment.
Sports radio is a different beast. Like, there are people who say, I know more about sports. You probably do. Can you do it in a chair for 4 hours, put up good ratings, and bring in money? And that's where I think that's a challenge. You are a writer. Some writers are great at writing. They might not be the greatest when they do, TV or radio. I feel as though you could be somebody who could do this full time.
Well, thank you.
But you would still not give up writing, because I could see that that's your real love and passion.
Well, I told you this to do the thing that I called out earlier. Off air, we were chatting. Writing's lonely. It's you in your head, a place I spend way too much time otherwise. And I've said this to Hardy and Wallach and Fred and 12 and Ryan and Nick. This is the most fun I have. Hanging out with you guys, making something and having it be fun. I would want to keep writing, though, because the stuff that I'm doing now, longer pieces, more magazine style, some of the column stuff is more fulfilling, like the stuff that lasts. I feel like I'd be coming in here every day, and you got to produce. But, man, this is a great time. There was something else I had now I completely forgot, which is even better radio. So really petering out here at the end. But, no, this was a great show. You would have thought we had done this before and not hung out.
I feel like you and I could hang out at Chipotle.
Yeah.
We don't need an untimed buffet. There's a lot we came up with today. So what do you have going on now? So you're off for a couple more weeks, and then Pat's camp ramps up?
Pat's camp will ramp up. I'm working on a longer story now here and there when you get some time. Still doing my podcast, the Pat's Interference Podcast. Get it wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. Some guests, some fun games coming up. And, yeah, maybe some NBC Sports Boston.
There you go.
What a plug tonight. But we got a whole day with the wife here tonight. Just going to hang out.
Awesome, man. Real quick, I want to leave you with a sports take, if it's okay.
Singe my eyebrows off. Bring it.
The Kansas City Chiefs are not going to make the playoffs this year.
I love that. Oh, I love that so much.
I'll just leave. I'm gonna walk away. That's my take. I think the Broncos and I think the Chargers take the lead. I probably should have done this a lot earlier in the show today. It could have been a lot better, but I feel like it might.
I don't know. I kind of like you crop dusting the end of the show. That's kind of a good.
This was
kind of
Joker
a good way to go out.
Hitting the button, walking away from the burning,
hospital, hit the button,
hospital.
and then
We're all getting the ricochet.
Enjoy your weekend.
I like it. This is the toughest division they've ever had. And how about this, Joe Murray? That wild card spot they'll be fighting for, they lose to the New England Patriots.
The Bengals know all about that, right? Mm-hmm. All right, Andrew Callahan, great job. Happy 4th of July to you, your family, and everybody in Connecticut except for that ex-girlfriend's father.
What a prick.
Adam 12. Excellent job
Joe
this week,
Murray,
my
this
man.
was a pleasure. I hope we get to do it again. And
Ryan
Andrew,
B.
you know I love
you both.
You're awesome.
I'll love her in here.
And Cece wore a Bankroll Boys t-shirt today. Shout out to her as well. I'm Joe Murray. I saw Michael Hawley here.
Oh, no.
Who else is here?
Oh, no.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Alex Barth.
Next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Have a weekend. Toucher and Hardy will be back on Monday.